All right, welcome to this episode of Guapish Rule 34. I am your benevolent host, Dylan, and here I am joined by the ever-loving Pokemon person, Tanner.
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
And you will be, Tanner. Maybe even after this tier list, we will dub you the best there ever was. Following him up, certainly with style, Nico.
Well, I'll tell you what, to beat all the rest, yeah, that's my cause.
And what a track record Nico has of beating all the rest. And lastly, but certainly not least, we have our most important VIP member, Jackson.
Guys, I am absolutely blanking on the Pokemon intro
Your
song
true
right
quest.
now. It's my true quest to kill this tier list.
Alright, there we go. Yeah, as it may not have been alluded to already, today we are doing the starter Pokemon tier list. Now, the basic premise of this tier list is basically any Pokemon that's ever shown up as an option as a starter in any Pokemon ever will be on this list, and that is, that rule is not an exception to, Mega Evolutions or, Gigantamaxes. I didn't do Dynamaxes because they're stupid. But yeah, should be relatively easy. We're all Pokemon fans here. Before we kick things off, I'd like to say, with a deep sorrow in my heart, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I know you had nothing to do with Pokemon, but you had a strong influence on the anime world. We're just we're taking a lot of like famous people L's this past year.
2024.
No, not well. Yeah, it's been a rough 365 days. Anyway, without further ado,
What a great start for the Pokemon tier list here, dude.
you know
Nice
how
and
these
upbeat.
you know how these Dylan hosted episodes go. I never do them. Somebody pull up my hosting stat. Anyway,
What
first up,
question? What criteria are we using?
just general like style. How you like the look of the Pokemon. Maybe if you know like its type, like variation. Maybe I don't think anybody's gonna be judging it off of stats except maybe Nico, but I don't even think he's gonna be doing that. So
Bayleaf has like zero competitive viability, therefore they belong in the F tier.
there we go. Yeah. So basically, just maybe how frequently you use this Pokemon in a game, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's just basic tier
Yeah,
list.
whatever.
Just how much you like them, Tanner.
Likability. I got you.
Yeah.
Likability, style, so whatnot. But anyway, first up here, we have Alolan Raichu. This personally is one of my favorites Alolan forms. But what are we thinking about Alolan Raichu here, guys?
Now, I did actually question it was either Tanner or Jackson, as to whether or not you'd be including, like, Pikachu and Eevee in these, because of, like, let's go Pikachu and Eevee. They believed that you would not do it, but I believed in you, dude, and you really showed out today.
Listen, man, I know my stuff. I am the Pokemon connoisseur. I have an insane amount of time in Pokemon games.
Oh yeah? Name my favorite Pokemon.
Name your favorite Pokemon. Obviously it's Jinx.
Oh, wrong. But good guess, that's my number 2.
There we go.
Specifically the original version.
Right.
Do you have all the starter Pokemon from the dungeon games?
You're talking about,
Mystery Dungeon?
yeah, because those aren't necessarily starter
Aren't
Pokemon
most
so
of
much
them
as
just starters from the normal games anyway?
some of them
You can
They
be
are,
Skitty, bro!
Yeah,
you can be Skitty!
But
You
they
can play as
also-
Meowth in it.
in those games they also base the Pokemon you play as to the attributes you were asked in like the
Yeah,
start
what's
of the
that
game.
matter? Anyways, let's
So
get on with
mainly-
it.
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah,
ranked a
right.
single
So,
Pokemon
like-
yet.
Alolan Raichu, guys. What are we thinking here? Psychic Electric type, only available in the Hawaiian version of Pokemon. What are we thinking here?
The Alola.
I like this guy. I like his little T-pose, and I like how chubby and round he is.
Tanner,
he
let me
surfs on
ask
his
you here.
tail.
Do you know why Raichu became a psychic type in the Alola region?
I was gonna try making something up. I'm not even coming up with anything funny. So go ahead and tell me.
It's because he ate a bunch of pancakes.
That's not.
That's
I don't-
real. That's the real reason.
That's interesting.
They're called like masaladas or some shit like that, but they're just like the Hawaiian version of pancakes.
Why does that make him a psychic?
Good question.
Okay. Anyway.
Dude,
All right.
I like him. He's pretty sweet. I like him more than regular ass Raichu. His ears are weird, but like, I can kind of look past them. I feel like he's a B tier.
All right, I'm gonna B tier from Nico. Tanner.
like how his feet look like garlics as well. I'm a big fan of this guy. I'm gonna go A tier.
A tier. All right, Jackson.
Yeah, I'd go B as well. I like him skating on his little tail, but I'm not a huge fan of his arms and feet. It's a little too round. I don't really. That's a big complaint I have with a lot of new Pokemon stuff. Is they all just kind of look like big blobs with stubs rather than like creatures.
That's understandable, dude. Like I said, Alolan Raichu is a pretty hard hitter for me. I think I personally would put Raichu in S tier, so I think that drops it right in A.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got the girl herself, Bayleaf. What do we think of Bayleaf, guys?
Dude, she's fine, C tier.
Yeah. I like Bayleaf.
Honestly, I don't like Bayleaf. I think she's kind of fucking lame, and honestly, her, like, single toenails make me really uncomfortable, so I'm gonna go F tier.
F tier, Jesus. All right, Jackson. What do you gonna?
I'd go D. I like the leaf on top and like the kind of necklace thing, but they're pretty basic, and the toenails thing is also pretty weird for me.
Yeah, I will say I do like Bayleaf more than I like Meganium, but that's not necessarily saying anything. I would personally put Bayleaf in B tier, so I think that drops her in just about C tier.
Okay.
Alright, next up, we've got the boy himself, Blastoise. What are we thinking of Blastoise, boys?
Look at that smug son of a bitch. I'm gonna give him a B tier. I think Blastoise is neat, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I'd also go B.
B tier. Alright, Tanner, you gonna run us out?
Yeah, I agree with that. I do specifically want to say I like his little cat ears. They're very cute.
Yeah. I personally like Blastoise a lot. He's my preferred starter from that generation, but I'm still going to put him in B tier. So that's a solid rank in there.
Did you know, originally Blastoise was not going to be the third evolution for the Squirtle line. Instead, he was a completely separate evolution. However, they decided to make him the final evolution instead for some reason, probably because he just looked cooler.
Nice.
There we go. Nico's going to chalk this tier list full of facts.
As old tier list should
Alright.
be.
S tier! S tier!
There we go. We got to Nico's favorite starter. He has some kind of fetish for fire starters. I'll let the audience know that now. Blaziken. Nico says S tier. Tanner, what makes you think that Nico's wrong?
I'm gonna go... See, the thing is, the dick fur, not a fan. Don't like the dick fur at all, and his, like, claw feet also kind of weird me out. I'm in between.
You can't even see him.
I'm in between an A and a C. I like his coloring. I like.
I feel like it's a pretty easy decision if you're between A and C.
A and
Yeah, that's a B
I meant
tier.
A and B. Sorry. Oops.
Gotcha.
I do like his colors and how he kind of looks like a rocket, where it's like the white part breaking the cloud and then the red and orange fire. I'll go A.
A tier?
Mhm.
Alright, so we got an S and an A. Jackson?
Honestly, B tier. He's kind of a B tier for me. I'm not a huge fan of Blaziken, but I have respect for Nico. I'll give him A.
Here we go.
Son of a bitch.
And, you know, me personally, I do really like Blaziken. I think this is definitely one of the starters that gets better as they evolve, which doesn't usually happen in the newer generations. But yeah, I think I'd personally also just put Blaziken in an A tier, so I'll go ahead and just put him at the top of A there for you, Nico.
No!
There we go. Our first upset of the afternoon. We're off to a great start. All right,
Judases.
guys.
You're all Judases. The sword of Damocles hangs taut above all of your heads. You motherfuckers. I'm gonna kill each and every one of you.
Moving on, a community favorite, Fennekin.
Smash.
What do you think of-
This isn't Fennekin.
What?
What's this one's name?
Or not Fennekin. Braxian. Fennekin was the prior.
Dude,
Braxian.
their ear fur is weird. C tier.
Dude, she's got those wide childbearing hips, though.
I think that might just be tufts of fur, but
This design does
Let my
fucking...
like how
imagination run wild, bro.
what's that, Tanner?
This design does nothing for me. This is a two-legged fox. Like, I'm gonna go D
She's
tier.
wearing a dress. Look, that's the flare of the dress. That's like the
I
flare of the
don't...
shoulder.
It does nothing
or whatever.
for me. I'm going D tier.
All right, so wait, so Jackson, you said C tier?
I said C, and that's only because of the big fluffy tail.
Gotcha. And Tanner said D tier. Nico, what are you saying for this one?
Uncultured A tier.
A tier. I'm gonna meet in the middle. I'm gonna go B tier, which it's either bottom of B or top of C.
I think she fits in with Bailey far better than Blastoise.
I would agree.
I think Nico's the only one here that disagree. I'm kind of complacent on this
disagree.
one. We could always move things around later. Yeah, okay. Next one here. We have Brione. This is
this isn't
D tier.
This isn't the first one.
not necessarily.
No.
No.
Holy cow.
This is the second one.
This one's weird. I don't like it, D.
Yeah, this is from the oh so famous 6th generation of the Kalos region.
This one has heavy Neopets energy.
It kind of, I see that, yeah.
Also, what do you mean, Dylan? She's from the Alola region.
Is it the Alola region? Which
It's
Yeah.
from Poplio.
I know, I was thinking of Poplio. I thought that was Kalos. Oh, I'm thinking
No.
that's Toxicroak. Damn it, I'm fumbling. Anyway.
I'm gonna go C tier. This one's boring, but it doesn't have anything on it that actively offends me.
Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with that. Jackson, what do you think?
I already said D.
D? Alright, C and a D. Nico, what do you say?
I said D tier, yo.
D tier. I think I'm going to meet in the middle and say C tier as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with this design, but also there's nothing crazy going on with it, so I'll just put it at the bottom of C. I'm going to round this out later, I guess. Alright, classic favorite, Bulbasaur. What are we thinking here, boys?
Dude, Bulbasaur's a fine little gentleman. I say B tier. B for
tier.
Bulbasaur.
I'm saying A. I
Bulbasaur.
think Bulbasaur is really cute. I like his little toes. I like he's very cat-like.
That's an interesting
Bulbasaur's
line to draw.
Rad. I think I'm also gonna go A tier.
A tier, okay. I think I'm also going to go B tier with this, so we'll go ahead and put him above Blastoise. Yeah, above Blastoise. Or no,
Yeah.
didn't Blastoise get
No, put him
He got a
above
consecutive B.
Blastoise.
Well, no, because Blastoise got a consecutive B rating.
Yeah, and Bulbasaur has 2 A's.
Well, fine, whatever. Bulbasaur's like the only one where I think it's cool when you get to Ivysaur, but when you get to Venusaur, I lose all interest. Alright, the $150,000 card, Charizard. What are we thinking here, guys?
Whoa! A tier.
You cut out, I did not hear that.
A tier.
A tier? That's a pretty solid one for Charizard.
Blasphemy. I'm going S tier.
S tier, there we go.
I'm going B. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get that Charizard's really cool. I'm not, like, super high on Charizard. I don't think it's a bad design.
I think some of his like megas are cool, but
Yeah,
I think
his
his
megas
basic
are
design
much
is
better.
just basic generic dragon with tail on fire. It's kind
Yeah,
of okay.
so Tanner
Yeah,
said
but
S.
Dragon with tail on fire is sweet as hell, yo.
So Tanner
He's
said
so
S.
tiny, though.
Nico said A, right, Nico? You said A?
Yes.
And Jackson, you said B?
B.
I think I'll also go A tier, so let's go ahead and put him there. Alright, taking a step down here, we got Charmander. What do you think of Charmander, guys?
C.
I
C
think
for
Charmander's a cute little guy. B tier.
Alright,
I agree
alright,
with
C and a
Nico.
B?
B tier.
B tier. I will say that I agree with Jackson, say C tier. See, Charmander's just another one of those where it's not a bad design, but ain't nothing crazy going on here.
I don't like his weird head.
What about his cute little tail, Jackson? You know, like how it's made of fire, and if it goes out, he dies?
I would be the bucket owner.
I would be the
Christ. Alright, with that comment, we're moving on. A step up, even. Charmeleon, or as somebody I used to know would say Carmeleon, because for some reason, they thought the CH made a cuss sound.
Dude, when I was a kid, I thought that Charmeleon was a freaking badass. Now I look at him like he's fucking whatever, C tier.
Okay.
I'm saying B, honestly. I think he's kind of similar to Charizard in my eyes.
Gotcha. So we got a C and a B. Tanner, what are you thinking?
I think Charmeleon is pretty sweet. I like how they gave him some fucking attitude, you know.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude, just like Poochie.
just like Poochie, yeah. Well, I'm gonna go B tier.
I'm also gonna go B tier, but I like him more than Charmander, so let's just fit him in right there. That seems right. All right, now a starter people may not be familiar with that gets slept on that I personally picked for my Kalos playthrough. Chestnut. What do we think of Chestnut, guys?
Dude, he's gay as hell. C tier.
Aw.
I'm saying D. I think his design's kind of weird.
We got a C and a D.
I don't like the fucking lines thing.
Yeah, I don't like the
with his
bands on his
underbody.
like arms and legs. It weirds me out.
I will say his design here actually looks better than his design in game.
What is he? I
Sounds
assume he
about
like
right.
curls up into a ball and it like looks like something. What does he look like when he does that?
I don't recall him curling up into a ball. Maybe something in the show.
Is he not-
Possibly, but
He looks like he's supposed to be like an armadillo.
he could be. I never saw anything about it.
Yeah, this one's kind of fucking stupid. I'll go D.
So it's a C and a D. I also think he's got a lot going on, but that's not necessarily in a good way. I'll say C tier. I'll just put him at the top of D, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's actually based off of like a sloth.
Huh?
Yeah, I think
guess.
he's like a giant sloth is his
Oh,
thing.
The French do love their sloths. Alright, moving on. We've got Chespin. Maybe a little more recognizable, but I doubt it. What do we think of Chespin? This is the pre-evolution to Chestnut.
Dude, he's
kinda
okay,
cute.
C tier.
I give him a B. I like he looks like he's wearing a little hat.
Yeah, he's the grass-type version of Oshawott. He's pretty cute.
I would not go that far.
This guy
Cute
also.
part of the Oshawott part.
This guy also doesn't do anything for me. Like, I'm looking at him and I'm trying to assemble him into some sort of, metaphysical image. And I'm just like, this is just a bunch of shapes and colors, I'm gonna go D tier.
Alright, so we got a D, a C, and a B. Yeah, I think this design's pretty mid. It's not a ton going on, but it's not a bad design. I'm gonna put it above Poplio, though. I'm giving it a C, in case I didn't say that.
You did.
Not better than Bayleaf, though. I gotta make sure I cover all my bases here, Tanner. Alright, circling on back to this evolutionary line, we've got Chikorita. What do we think of Chikorita?
Dude, I like Chikorita. I think she's cute. Like B tier.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Jackson?
I'd say C.
C tier.
I think she's cute in the anime, but her design is pretty weird and kind of.
Dude, have you seen her do the spinning thing with her fucking leaf, though?
She does have some attitude.
Yeah.
Tanner, what do you think?
It doesn't
Damn.
do really anything for me either. I'm also gonna go C tier.
C tier, huh? I also am going to agree with Nico, say B tier. And that puts us in a weird spot.
I say she's top of C.
Top of C.
The gatekeeper of
Alright.
C, if you will.
I thought Braxian held that down, but we can all be wrong sometimes. Alright. A little more recognizable territory here. Chimchar, what do we think, guys?
I never noticed he had 5-finger hands.
It
Yeah.
ruins him.
Considering he has
C
3
tier.
toes, yeah. You say C tier or B tier?
See, honestly, I'm not a really big fan of monkeys. People might think he's cute. I don't think he's very cute. I think he just looks like a weird
Not a
monkey.
fan of
Yeah.
monkeys. Interesting.
He's alright.
Dude, I love monkeys. He's like a B tier in my eyes.
A C tier and a B tier? Tanner, how are you going to round this vote out?
I like Chimchar. I think he's fun and a funny little guy. The hand thing is now something I'm never gonna stop noticing, but I'll go B tier anyway.
B tier. Alright, so we got 2 B tiers and a C. I guess I can't see putting Chimchar in C tier. I guess I'll put him in B tier, but I don't think above Well, yeah, I'm not gonna go above Blastoise. How about right there? That seems
Yeah,
right.
sure.
Alright. Now this one's a personal Nico favorite, I know this. Cinderace.
I'll go as far as to say it's a favorite. I think he's cool, though. Like B tier.
There we go.
I'd say D. I don't like Cinderace at all.
Damn, that's
I
surprisingly
think it's
low.
weird.
This one is a crowd favorite. Tanner, what do you think?
And he's a fire rabbit and he loves soccer.
He looks like fucking fan art in this picture.
Yeah, this is not
Looks
a good
weird
image,
as shit.
I don't think.
This is
You
official
gotta-
artwork.
That's horrible. I don't like his weird hands. I don't like that he's a soccer player. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think it's weird.
Yeah, I don't
don't like
think
his
I
weird,
like
like,
him
headpiece thing.
very much at all either. I'll also be going D tier.
You gotta say that one more time. You cut out that the whole
I'll also be going D tier.
D tier. Jesus. So we got 2 D's and a B. I personally like Cinderace's design. I think it's A tier personally. So let's see, 2 D's, a B, and an A. That probably puts it top of B, maybe.
No, that would be like top of C, bottom of B.
I'm gonna go bottom of B because that sounds better. Alright, getting back to it here. Combuskin.
I think
The
Combuskin's
evolutionary
fucking
Torchic.
lame D tier.
That's fair.
He's a penis.
Dude, he is a penis.
Why
D
did
tier
you
for
say
dicks.
that? God, he's a penis with arms.
I think it's very funny how Combuskin looks like a cock and balls. I'm gonna go B tier.
Jackson, I don't know if I heard your rating. What'd you give it?
I said D. I said D for dicks.
2 D's and a B. Yeah, I think Combuskin's a really interesting cross between Torchic and not Combuskin, fucking Blaziken. Damn. I think it's a C tier, so I guess top of D, maybe.
Sure.
Alright, cool. Alright, onward. We've got Crocolore, the evolution of Fuecoco.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Controversial take. I think he's really fucking cute. I'd say yes.
He's a chubby
I
little guy.
think he's really fun. I think he's got some cool energy. I think his design is cute and funny.
I'm glad you enjoy him, Jackson. That's good to hear. Jackson, Tanner, what are you thinking here,
I
man?
really like his fucking hat, and his facial expression is fantastic. I really like this guy too, but he doesn't have much going on aside from those 2 things. He's got a very generic body shape and whatever. I'm gonna go B tier for him.
Alright, 2.
He's kind of just like a silly little guy. I think C tier for me personally. Love the hat, but at the same time, it's like, whatever.
Alright, so we got SBC. I think personally, I think this is a pretty alright design. I don't think it's anything crazy. You'd probably also put it in B tier.
He kind of reminds me of like a Viva Pinata character. I used to play Viva Pinata.
Yeah,
back
I
in
can
the
see
day.
that.
It's a little
I can see it.
nostalgic.
So what was this? 2 S of 2 B's and a C.
Yeah,
My S was in fact a controversial take, as it turns
probably
out.
top
I
of
guess-
B, honestly.
Top of B.
I'd say
yeah,
so.
I can see that. All right. Next up, we've got Croconaw, the evolution of Totodile.
Dude, he's fucking gay F tier.
Yeah, I don't like
Totodile is
Croconaw
my
too much.
favorite starter Pokemon out of all of them, but Croconaw fucking sucks. Put him in F tier.
I'd
Damn.
also put him in F. I just don't like that they give him the weird caveman thing motif and then they just throw it away. It's like, what the fuck were they doing with this design at all?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Also, his
Like,
2
his
teeth
tooth?
are very strange.
What the fuck is he using with that back tooth?
Yeah, at least this is one of the starters they left bipedal, so there's that. I don't mind Croconaw. I don't think it's great. I'd give him a D tier, but I think that still makes him F tier, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
So there we go. F for fur alligator. Anyway, up next, Cyndaquil, crowd favorite here.
Cyndaquil is a cute little guy. I'm gonna give him a B tier.
Damn, I fucking love Cyndaquil. Jack,
I give him A. He's one of my favorites. He was like one of the first starter Pokemon I really got attached to.
There we go. All right.
You know what?
Tanner?
I was thinking B, but looking at him, I think Cyndaquil's fucking rad. He's very cute, and I appreciate that they did go for like a way less commonly thought about animal by making him a shrew. So yeah, I'm gonna go A.
A. All right. Nico, you said B, right?
Yeah.
I'm also gonna go A tier. Cyndaquil is a personal favorite of mine. Probably. I don't want to put him above Alolan Raichu, but that's probably where he goes, unfortunately. I'm not gonna put him above Blaziken. Nico's gonna have another fucking stroke or an aneurysm or something. Next, Dartrix.
He's fucking boring, C tier.
Aw,
I'd also
I
say C.
agree.
C tier.
What even is
Okay,
he has a bow tie and he's got like emo hair?
He's
like a butler.
He's an evolution of Rowlet, which evolves
Yeah.
into Decidueye, who's like a masked archer or something. I don't know.
Blah 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 blah. Who evolves into blah 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 blah. Anyway, C tier. Put him in C.
He's just a little gentleman, you know?
I guess I personally put Dartrix in B tier.
C tier it
That's-
is.
Yeah, right there. Perfect. Speaking of Decidueye, here he is.
Whoa.
I think
I
he's
think
pretty
Decidueye
rad.
is cool. I'm a big fan of Decidueye. I think he's probably my favorite of that generation, to be honest.
Yeah, he was my starter for this generation.
I don't know. I don't really see myself giving too many S tiers out. I think he's S tier though. I think he's cool. I like owls a lot, and I think he's like. I think it's cool. He fits like the archer motif kind of thing.
Yeah, he's a
Plus
ghost
a
grass
dual-
type.
Dual starter type. Yeah, that. I think that's pretty cool. Those aren't super common, are they?
No, I don't
it's
think
only
there was
like
any
him and
others.
Bulbasaur.
Yeah. Tanner?
Believe it or not, Bulbasaur is actually also a poison type. It's pretty nuts. I think Decidueye is pretty cool as well. I wouldn't go as far as to say S tier, but like he's definitely an A tier in my mind.
All right, I can take it.
Yeah, I
Tanner?
agree with A tier.
I think S tier. I think it's a rad design. I think the type matchup is pretty cool. What do you think? Do you think we should jump the bounds and make it our first S tier, or should we just put him at the
Yeah,
top
we've
of A?
got
yeah.
two S's in two ways. Let's err on the side of positive.
There we go. First S tier, Decidueye. Congratulations.
Fantastic.
All right, next up here, the one that everybody forgets about. Delphox. What do you think of Delphox, guys?
Weird. I don't. It
The
makes me
evolution of
uncomfortable.
Braxian.
It makes you uncomfortable with the feelings it's given you.
C tier. No, it's I just keep staring at those big fucking ear
Legs.
hairs.
It makes me think of the big dog puppet from Neverending Story.
Yeah.
No, that's
Falcor
fair.
or whatever.
Yeah, just because it makes me uncomfortable. I really don't like it. I'm gonna go D tier.
D tier for Delphox. Nico?
I think she's alright, dude. She's a B tier in my book.
B tier. Jackson, what'd you say?
I said C.
C, we got a B, C, and a D. I'm also gonna say B tier. So let's go ahead and throw her in there. I'm gonna put her right there.
I mean, I think she
That
has
seems
to be bottom of B tier with that.
bottom of B.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up here we have Duwat.
Dude, S tier. This guy's sweet as hell. I'm a big fan of Duwat.
Nico loves
I-
Duwat but hates Samurott.
Yeah,
I
there's
think
good reason
Duwat's
for it.
cute. I'd put him in B.
B. That was too
Um,
hot
I think
takes.
he's.
I agree. Duwat's fucking rad. Let's put him in S tier.
I also would say, I'm gonna go A tier. How do I actually feel? A tier sounds right in my head, but I think that still makes him S
I
tier.
don't think it does.
Probably.
No, that definitely makes him A.
Yeah, it's
A
A
tier?
tier.
Do we want to put
Hang
him
on a
above,
sec. No.
below Blaziken?
Yes.
Nico's gonna fight tooth and nail for this guy.
Tooth and nail.
There we go. All right, next up here we have Drizzle.
This guy's
Drizzile,
stupid D
whatever.
tier.
What the? I've never seen this
Emo
fucking
Frog.
thing.
This is from Pokemon Sword and Shield. I don't remember. Froakie? Not Froakie. What the hell is it?
Salazzle.
Salazzle. No, that's not it either.
No, that's not it. You know,
Sobble.
Sorbet
water.
or somebody.
The-
Yeah, Sobble,
yeah.
that's it.
Why did I
Yeah,
know that?
that guy. The starter that
D.
everybody forgot about. D tier, that's fair.
He's
Anybody
stupid,
else?
but kind of in like a charming, funny way.
I don't
guess
see
so.
that.
I'm also going D tier though.
Nico.
I already said D tier. I started off with D.
I'm also gonna say D tier. That's a unanimous D. There we go. All right, time for the most utilitarian Pokemon ever, Eevee. What do we think of the cute little
Utilitarian.
res- Yeah, you know, you can evolve this thing into like 10 different forms.
A.
It's so useful. A. That's pretty solid. Tanner, what do you think?
I think Eevee is a perfect design for what it's supposed to be, so I'll give it an S tier.
Dude, I think the Eevee is just dandy. I'm gonna give it an A tier as well.
I'm also going to give it an A tier. Let's put it above Blaziken.
Don't
Every
do that.
evolution though, S tier.
Every evolution. Is it just
Every
because some of
single
them look
one.
like cats?
Vaporeon, Goku tier.
We're not. No.
Make a new
We're
tier
not
for
going
it.
there, boys. We're not going there. We have to keep this channel
Wait, are we?
PG, I
Oh,
think.
Jesus, we're actually doing all the evolutions as well. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yes, sir.
I'm only assuming you can evolve Eevee into any form in those games. I'm not actually
You
sure.
can't.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. We're doing
You
it
also
anyway.
can't evolve Pikachu either.
Well, that's unfortunate. We're here. That's why Alolan Raichu is here. Anyway, Emboar, my personal favorite. I fucking love this guy from fucking Pokemon Black and White. What are we thinking of Emboar, boys?
He's okay, B tier.
Damn.
Guys, fun fact, I replayed through Black and White a while ago, and I didn't even intend to, like, start a challenge or anything, but it was, like, the first, like, 2 gyms I beat by literally just using my Tepig or whatever his second evolution was, and then I ended up, was like, I'm just gonna fucking use him as the only Pokemon to use. So I did. I just beat the entire fucking game with only an Emboar in my party, and he was the only fucker. I just used a million X items and potions and shit. I'm gonna say A
Right?
tier just because of that experience. I really connected with those Pokemon.
fucking
But I
goated,
think his
dude.
design's kind of okay.
I love Emboar so much. Tanner, what do you think?
Emboar's pretty cool. I like him. I kind of wish he had a bit more, like, going on, because he's kind of just, he's a big fire pig, you know? So I'm gonna...
I think he's based off some Chinese general.
I can kind of see that, but, you know, I'm American,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go B tier.
Fun fact, Tanner, this Pokemon came from the American region. Alright, so we got Nico, I believe you also said B tier, right?
Yeah.
Alright, Jackson said A. I think Emboar personally is S tier for the reason that Jackson explained, but I also really like his design. So I guess that's probably A tier.
Yeah, A tier. You really don't need to worry about where the fuck they're going exactly all that much. Just
Fine.
throw them somewhere.
Fine. Alright, Empoleon. What do we think?
He's
I think
fine.
Empoleon's kind of sick, to be honest. This is also another dual type starter, which is pretty cool. I'd say A tier. I think he's cool.
A tier, there we go. Nico, you said Empoleon's fine. Care to
Yeah,
elaborate?
B tier.
B tier? Alright, so it's A and a B, Tanner.
Dude, I think Empoleon fucks. I'm gonna say A tier.
You know, I'll also say A tier. That's pretty easy. Boom. Alright, there we go. Next up, we've got Espeon. What do we think of Espeon, boys?
Okay, so, like, this is the best evolution, right, guys?
No.
Yes and no.
Bummer, S tier.
It's top 2 for me, for sure. I will agree, I do really like Espeon. I like psychic types. I like Espeon's design. She looks like a cat. It's like the only one that looks like a cat. I personally would also say S tier.
Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite designs too. I'd also say S.
Ooh. Tanner?
Man, I don't know what you guys are smoking
I'm
right
gonna
now.
be-
I think this
listen.
just looks like some pink animal.
I'm gonna be
no.
honest, I don't like Espeon's design. I'm not...
Oh,
What's
no.
wrong with it, dude?
It just makes me think of one of those hairless cats, like those gross ones, you know?
I
She's
think
got
it is
so
supposed
much
to be a
fur.
hairless cat.
D tier.
Holy shit. That doesn't land... Did we just override the D tier with the S tier if we all say S?
We've got 3 S's. Get fucked, Tanner.
There we go. The crowd has spoken. Comment section, you have been notified. Alright, here we go. Fennekin.
Dude, his head is like the size of his fucking body. D tier.
Yeah, the head is outrageously large. What's up with that?
I think Fennekin's really cute, A tier.
Yeah.
I can't stop looking at the head thing. It's like a weird chihuahua. He's still
Yeah.
got the hair come out of his ears bullshit.
Okay. Tanner, what are your thoughts?
I like Fennekin. It's just really fucking basic, though. I'll go C tier.
C tier. And Jackson, you said D tier? What'd you say?
Oh yeah.
Damn. So we got a C, a D, and an A. I also think Fennekin's A. Let's go ahead and put top of B. Does that sound right to you
Sure.
guys?
Sure.
Cool.
Why not?
Alright. Next up, Tanner's favorite. We got Feraligatr. What are we thinking of Feraligatr?
Oh, look at this smiley guy.
Look at him.
I don't like the bands all over him. I know it's supposed to be like armor or something, but they look kind of weird. I'm gonna give him a B.
A B for bands. Nico, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually do not like him very much. I think he's a C tier.
Oh, no. Tanner, you could save it here. What's your vote?
To be clear, I really like Totodile. Feraligatr is just okay. I think he's cool. I like how he goes for, like, intimidating a lot more than most starters. But I think I'd only place him at, like, a B.
A B. So it's a B and a B. I'm also gonna put him in C tier. So let's put him at the top of C, I guess. Okay. All right, next up, we got another evolution. Flareon. What do we think of Flareon, boys?
Whoa!
S tier.
S tier.
I don't know about that.
I really like Flareon. I think they're cute. They're like super big and fluffy.
Flareon is
them.
most certainly the fluffiest of all the evolutions.
I'm gonna rate a lot of evolutions S tier. I'm just gonna preface that now, boys.
You made that
Prepare
very
yourself.
clearly with Eevee.
I really like Eevee.
Nico, you seem to have some thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I don't know, Jackson. Like, Flareon's fine. I think B tier. Actually, even lower than that, C tier.
Damn, I wouldn't have gone that low. Shit, dude.
This guy's a dick.
Tanner, what are you thinking here,
I
buddy?
think Flareon's pretty rad. I'm gonna go A tier.
All right, and I would also say B tier. So I guess I don't know. Is that A tier or is that B tier?
A tier.
A tier. All right.
They're like regular Eevee but fluffier.
Yeah, that's true, and also a fire type. Anyway, moving on here. A Pokemon that Jackson didn't know existed, Florigato. What are we thinking here?
This thing's fucking gross. D tier.
Tanner.
I like this one. I've never seen it before, so this is, first impressions. I like how kind of sassy it looks. I'm gonna go B tier.
All right.
Yeah,
Nico,
I think it's pretty cool. Shit, probably a B tier for me, I'd say.
B tier. Yeah, I think I do like this design. Not a ton, but it's pretty good. I'd also say B tier. Yeah, fun fact for you, Tanner. Jackson's starter was the first evolution of this, except he wanted to keep it a kitten forever, so he just threw it in his Pokemon box and never saw it again.
Yeah, I never evolved it. I don't think I've even completed those 2 spots in my Pokedex. Like, I've just never had one of the
He
evolutions
couldn't
of it.
bear to see his precious little kitty turn into a bipedal freak. All right,
Yep.
next up here, we've got Froakie.
What's on his back?
I believe
Those
those
are
like
fucking
suds
bubbles.
or something.
Yeah, I don't like frogs that much. D tier.
Yeah, I
Damn.
also don't really like frogs. I think C tier.
Okay, D tier, C tier, Tanner.
Froakie is really whatever. I'm gonna go D tier.
D tier. I'm gonna say C tier as well. Let's do top of D. Moving on, his next evolutionary, Frogadier.
I've said what the fuck is this thing a few times. I have actually never seen this Pokemon before.
Yeah, I don't really ever see Frogadier. This is really uncanny.
This looks like fucking Toxicroak at home. I'm saying F tier, honestly. I don't like him. I think he's weird. He's got a weird nose thing going on. I don't like his eyes. His hands are fucking like one-dimensional for some reason.
Yeah, it's a weird in-between for sure.
Yeah, I think he's really stupid, D tier.
Is this the one that evolves into Greninja?
Yeah.
It
Okay,
sure
I was gonna
is.
say, it looks like a discount Greninja. Yeah, I don't really like this guy much either. I'm gonna go D tier.
I'm also gonna go D tier, so I guess just put him in there. Alright, time for the cutie himself, Fuecoco. What are we thinking of Fuecoco?
Dude, I like Fuecoco. He's quite the little gem now, ain't he? A tier.
He looks like a fucking trash can. A tier.
Yeah, I like him too. He's happy and funny. I'll also go A tier.
I'll also go A tier. Now, Nico. Are we capping off A tier or are we keeping Blaziken there?
No, obviously he's not going higher than Blaziken. What are you talking about?
Alright. Alright. A new one to the Evolution bunch, and actually one of my new personal favorites. We've got Glaceon. What do we think of Glaceon?
By
S
new
tier.
one, he means like 15
Yeah,
years
I was
old.
gonna say.
Well, yeah,
is
but
actually-
newer than all the other ones, though.
This is actually my favorite evolution.
There we go. She does have a pretty sick design. I do like it a lot.
I think Glaceon is fine, B tier.
Damn.
I like the hat. The colors are fine.
Hat.
I'm
Okay.
probably only at a B tier though.
B tier. Jackson's at S tier. Yeah, I really liked the design. I say A tier, so I guess let's put it next to Flareon. Nico, did you like Flareon or Glaceon more?
Glaceon.
Gotcha. Cool. Alright, moving on here. We have the first of our Gigantamax Pokemon. We've got Gigantamax Blastoise. He is just a big-ass battleship boy. What are we thinking here?
Dude, I think it's pretty sweet. I'll say A tier.
Why did they include the turds in the design?
What are you talking about?
the fucking clouds that look like big turds floating
Oh,
around
that's
him.
the Gigantamax clouds. That's what happens when they Giganta or Dynamax.
I know. I'm saying, why do they have those as part of the actual design?
So that you
because I'm
know.
pretty sure this was cropped out of the game. So
I mean, it's trying to imply they're very tall and they're in the clouds or something.
Exactly.
I guess so, dude.
What the
Anyway.
fuck did I rate the first actual Blastoise? I feel like I gave him B. I think he's honestly kind of similar to regular Blastoise for me.
Okay,
So B.
B tier. We got an A and a B. Tanner, what do you think?
I agree with Jackson. He's about the same as regular Blastoise. Like, he's cool, but yeah, he's a
personally
big
think-
Blastoise, you know. So I'm gonna go B.
I just like the idea of all that heavy firepower that Blastoise is known for. I'm gonna also put him in A tiers. So go ahead and shove him right there.
They look markedly less like water cannons, though, which is what its whole shtick is supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's whatever, man. All right, up next we have Gigantamax Charizard. What do you think of this one, guys? He's got fire wings. He's got a fire collar. He's got fire at the wazoo. What do we think?
Yeah, I don't like him as much as normal Charizard. I think like B tier for him.
I think the fire wings are pretty fucking cool, especially how they like flow into like the neck thing going on. I don't like the toes.
Yeah.
I've also never noticed the detail of like a lot of these Gigantamax ones having like the triangle, like diamond design on them.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to remember what I ranked a lot of these like original non-Gigantamax ones. I think I gave Charizard like a C or a B. I guess I'll give him a B. I think he's alright.
Okay. Tanner?
I agree with Jackson talking about the toes. I kind of actively dislike this guy compared to Charizard. Something about like his proportions are just weirding me out. I'm even gonna go D.
D tier. So that's 2 B's and a D. I think this design's a little better than Charizard. I like it a little more. So I guess, oh damn, I had a good idea where this is going. I guess B tier, maybe top of B.
Sure.
Does that sound about right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Next up here, a really weird one. This generation's known for their equipment getting bigger, but not them necessarily. You've got Gigantamax Cinderace.
Dude, this shit's pretty cool. A tier.
A tier. Okay. Tanner.
So they just made his ears bigger and he has a big ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like his big move is he like kicks this big ball at people and explodes in a big fiery ring of death.
Which, like, Tanner, if you describe anything in the manner you just did, you can make it sound stupid, by the way.
Yeah, but this is stupid. C tier.
He's sweet
Damn.
as hell. This is a fucking Digimon, bro.
I can see that. All right, we've got an A tier and a C tier. Jackson, what are you rounding this out to be?
I like the domineering pose he's got on, and just the idea of like being some tiny guy in this like big ass fireball. But also, I think he's still about on par as the old design. A little better though. Also a C.
C? Oh damn. I also think this is A tier, so I guess it's going to top of B. Down you go, Gigantamax Charizard. Continuing it because I named the files the same. We're gonna go Gigantamax Eevee. Look at this little cutie, guys. Don't tell me this isn't at least A tier.
I had no idea Eevee had a Gigantamax. I've never seen this before.
It
Yeah,
sure
makes
does,
it more
man.
fluffy.
Mm-hmm. Super fluffy. Look at that shit.
I think it's a little too fluffy. It's kind of like a Cincino with me.
Blasphemy.
I think Minccino is cute, and then Cincino just looks like way too fluffy, like stupidly fluffy. That kind of knocks it down for me. Honestly, I'd say kind of B.
Hot take, I would like to reference Shimi.
Okay.
Shimi's not this fluffy.
But imagine
Noted.
you could Gigantamax Shimi and make her fluffier.
I don't want her to be fluffier. I think she's totally fine.
But what
with
if she
her
was
level of
also
fluffy.
bigger so the proportions leveled out?
I know. I think I like her being small.
Anyway,
I like Gigantamax Eevee. I think he's very cute and funny and very fluffy, and I like the amount of fluff. I'm gonna go S tier.
S tier. Damn. I got lost in the sauce with Nico and Jackson. What did you guys rate Eevee?
B.
B.
Dylan, can you
Nico?
add an E tier?
Add an E tier?
Yeah, for
You wanna-
Eevee.
Sure, man.
No, don't
How
do that.
I-
Just have him give an
No,
actual.
don't do that. B tier.
Here we go. I personally think this is A tier. So let's just go ahead and throw in an A tier. Because I think that rounds out that way. Alright, next,
Yeah.
another forgettable Gigantamax Inteleon.
What the fuck? Was that his tail?
Yeah, it's his
so
tail.
this is the Pokemon's tail. It is up in a sniper tower because that is this Pokemon's big shtick.
Yeah, because he's
Dude,
a
I
sniper.
really don't like Inteleon, and this is kind of funny. I
This
think
is-
it's a little silly.
This is better than its
I'll-
base form.
I'll give it C because I think it's funny.
It is pretty funny, but I think it's a D tier.
Honestly, I really like the idea here. I think it's very clever and kind of interesting to see in a Pokemon game, honestly. Like, they put a sniper's nest in a Pokemon game. So I'm gonna go B tier.
B tier.
What does it do if a Pokemon gets underneath his little tower and just starts attacking his tail?
He suffers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like the design. Unfortunately, I know a lot about Inteleon, and Inteleon fucking sucks in the game. So I'm also gonna put it C tier. So I think that just goes a solid C tier, I guess.
Yes, sir.
All
What
right.
about the creepy seal thing?
Creepy seal thing. Okay.
Yeah, Brion.
All right. Next up here, questionable one.
We got
we've got
Big
gigantic-
Pikachu.
Big P. We got Fat Pikachu.
Fat
They literally
Pikachu.
just make him. They made him like Gen 1 design, basically, with a lightning tail.
I do like Gen 1 Pikachu a lot more than the smaller, more streamlined Pikachu of today. I'd give him A tier, honestly. I think basic Gen 1 Pikachu is really cute.
Okay, that's an A
Yeah, I
tier.
think he's a
Tanner.
really funny guy, A tier.
A tier, A tier. All right,
I'm
Tanner.
gonna give Big Pikachu a B tier.
I'm gonna follow suit with the other two and say A tier. I think it's a pretty interesting design we got here. Next up here, we got Big Drummer Boy, Gigantamax Rillaboom.
Dude, this is stupid. C tier.
Oh man, you gotta hurt my boy like that.
He's just playing big drums. What's the combat effectiveness of this? I'll say C tier as well.
He controls roots with the drums.
You know,
Anyway, you
Why
said
does he need
C
the
tier?
drums for that?
I don't know.
I really like the concept because, like, regular Rillaboom, he has like one drum, so like, oh, we Gigantamax him and then give him a full drum set. It's
The drum set.
it's a fun idea, but I'm probably also at C tier.
Yeah, I think I sounded like I was super high on this guy. I think I'd honestly just give it a B tier. Let's see, Nico said C. You guys all said C. I'm gonna put him there. All right, next up, we've got Gigantamax Venusaur.
I like how they have the little picture. Like we need to fucking
I couldn't.
understand.
I
who
honestly
it-
couldn't find just a picture of just Gigantamax Venusaur. It was like impossible for
I
some
mean,
reason.
you could have edited it out, but it's fine. I think it adds some comedic value.
Yeah.
It looks pissed off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is that fucking weed anger that I hear about.
I'll say B tier.
Yeah.
He's okay, I guess. I don't. C tier, I think.
Okay.
Honestly,
okay.
I
Tanner.
kind of really like this one. I like that they did decide to give him a nefarious energy. Like, this guy looks
Yeah.
like he'd fuck your car up if you cut him off in traffic. I'll
Yeah.
go A tier.
A tier. I'm also gonna say B tier. I think his design's pretty alright. I like it better than his base form. I'm just gonna throw him in there. Alright, next up we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Greninja. What do we think of Greninja?
I mean, he's gotta be S tier, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
Yeah,
I think
takers.
Greninja's kind of like a B tier.
Whoa.
I'm
not a huge fan of Greninja.
gonna go S tier on Greninja as well.
Alright, so we got two S's and a B. I say A tier. I think that's enough to put him in S tier. What do we think? An S tier? Top of A?
No, you'd have to give an S tier to have it be an S tier.
Alright, let's put him at top of A then. This fictitious land. Anyway, next we got Grookey, the start of the Rillaboom line.
I think Rookie's fun. I'll give him B.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, Grookoo's actually made by a Korean, and it shows. B tier,
what
I
that's
think.
supposed to
He's
be.
cute.
Two B tiers. Tanner,
Dude, I fucking love Grookey. I'm gonna go S tier.
S tier. I was also thinking B tier, unfortunately. Top of B. Easy. All right, next up here, Grottle.
Grottle's fucking
He is a
like,
very
who
odd
likes
in-between.
Grottle?
Why is his
I want to
name-
find out who's.
Why is his name so
I want to find out whose
disappointing?
favorite Pokemon is Grotle. Okay.
It was I said. Did I
There's
say the
at least
name wrong? Was it
1,000 of them.
Grottle?
Yeah, it's Grotle. D
Damn.
tier.
D tier. Okay.
I'd
Jackson.
also say D. He kind of looks like a helmet with legs.
Yeah, he's got little hairs sticking out of the helmet here too. Tanner.
I find him kind of funny because of how fucking stupid he looks. But that can only bring him up to C tier for me.
Yeah, I'm also thinking D tier. On like my second playthrough of Pearl, I like placeholder in D. I like combined all the names of that line. Anyway, unimportant details. We got Grovyle here, probably one of the cooler mid evolutionary Pokemons. What do you think of Grovyle?
Emphasis on mid. He's okay. I think he's like a B tier. I know people really like Grovyle, but I think he's whatever.
I'd also say B. I think he's alright. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I am definitely higher on Grovyle than I am about all these other midway evolutionary lines. Tanner, what are you thinking here, buddy?
Honestly, I think Grovyle is pretty cool looking. I actually like this guy. I'm gonna go B tier.
B tier. That's 3 Bs, and I'm gonna lock it in with a 4th. Looks like Grovyle is our gatekeeper for B tier. Solid work, boys. Alright, now we're moving on to the weird ones. Hisuian Decidueye. This is Pokemon Legends Arceus' take on the evolutionary of Decidueye. What are we thinking here?
What the fuck is this?
He is a fighting grass type. He is more akin to a samurai in this version.
I'm gonna give him B. I don't like his weird hat and his feather things at the bottom.
B.
As well as talons.
Yeah.
Actually, Dylan, he's a Ronin, not a samurai. All right, so
sorry.
like, you know, I think he's still cool, but like, he just doesn't really hit the same. I think like A tier.
Okay.
I
Tanner?
really like the colors. He's got the dick fur that Blaziken has that I don't like. I think he's quite a bit weaker than regular Decidueye. I'm gonna go... I don't like his feet either. I'm gonna go B tier.
B tier. I also like Decidueye's design here, not as much as the original. I remember seeing this when it came out. I wasn't super high on it, but I did like him in the end. I think I'll also give him an A tier. Alright, moving on with the Hisuians. We've got Hisuian Samurott. I already know Nico's rating this F tier, so Jackson, Tanner, what do you guys think?
I've never seen this design before. I don't think I've seen basically any of the Hisuian designs.
Yeah,
I actually like normal Samurott a lot. This looks like normal Samurott, but like a little bit more edgy. I think I'll put him A. I think he's cool.
Yeah, instead of a water bug type, he's like a water, or no, he's
Water
just a solid
bug.
water type. Sorry, he knows a really strong bug type move. That's why I have that on my head. He's a water dark in this variation. Anyway, B tier. Nico, what do you think?
Dude, he's based on Oda Nobunaga. That's why he's fucking dark type now, because he's like the Demon King or some bullshit. He's fucking whatever. He looks no different from normal Samurott, basically. He's a fucking D tier.
Tanner?
I like actively dislike this one. This one looks gross. I hate the helmet thing. I'm gonna go F tier.
This is my so reliable starter in Legends Arceus. You guys are breaking my heart right now. I actually like original Hisui and Samurott. This one doesn't change much, like Nico said. Let's see. F, D, and B. I'm gonna give it an A.
I said A.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably
You were
in
the
B.
A. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
B.
in B. I'm gonna put him right here, because that's where I want him. This one I had to warm up to. This one's a little weird at first, but this is Hisuian Typhlosion. He's a fire ghost type. What are we thinking?
Why is it giving like come hither
Yeah, I don't
eyes?
like how it wants
'cause
to
it's-
perform some kind of intercourse on me.
It's a very emo Pokemon design.
That doesn't
I
explain our
like
question.
him. I definitely like him a lot more than the standard S one. I think he's like a B tier.
B tier. Damn, I can't wait to hear what you rate regular Typhlosion.
I'm gonna say C.
I agree with C.
B and C. B, C, C. I'm gonna say A tier, so that's probably gonna put him in B tier. So sad. Unfortunate. Next up, crowd favorite Incineroar. What are we saying, guys?
Okay, so like,
we go.
when I
B
first
tier.
saw Incineroar, when I got him in my Pokemon Moon game, I thought he was fucking stupid, okay? I didn't like his pose, I didn't like that he was like a big wrestler now. I didn't like how when he did like his signature move or whatever, he just kind of T-posed and spun around a little bit. However, he ended up being a playable character in a little game called Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that's where his personality was really able to shine. I was able to connect with the guy much more, and I enjoy him significantly more now. I think he's an A tier.
Okay. Jackson already said B tier, so Tanner, what are you saying?
Dude, Incineroar fucks hard. I'm going to S tier.
S tier. I'm also gonna say A tier, so I'm just gonna throw him in A tier. Alright, next up here, we got Infernape, the other fighting esque fire starter. What do we think of Infernape, boys?
B.
Yeah, he's kind of whatever, B tier.
There we go. Tanner?
I think Infernape is rad. I like his little pieces of armor, and I think he's really cool. I'm even gonna go S tier.
Man, Tanner's a huge Sun Wukong fan. I'm also gonna say B tier. I think Infernape is pretty cool, but he's also kind of whatever. Going right there, buddy. Right there. Alright, next up, the one you've all been waiting for. Inteleon!
He's a
F tier.
weirdo, D tier.
Jackson, did you say F tier?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Tanner, what do you say?
It's so ugly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair. That's...
I mean, you know, I'm on the record of disliking this body type, you know, so I'll go F tier. It just makes me uncomfortable to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, Inteleon doesn't got much going on. I'm also going to do F tier. Right there.
Yeah, it
Perfect.
kind of reminds me of the fucking lizard guy in Monsters Inc., except like way lamer.
Yeah.
Alright, next up, we've got Ivysaur. What do we think of Ivysaur?
I think they're cute. I'm gonna say they're about the same tier as Bulbasaur for me and say A.
Damn.
Yeah, I think B tier. He's kind of fine, I guess. Actually, no, C tier.
Damn, okay.
I think Ivysaur is a pretty solid design. I'm gonna go B tier.
I like Ivysaur's design more than Bulbasaur. I'm also going to say A tier. That probably... I don't know why I tried to
in
grab
B.
that one. That's B, but I'm going to put him above Bulbasaur because, you know, that works. Next up here, my personal favorite evolution of all time. We got Jolteon. What do we think of Jolteon, boys?
Dude, Jolteon's like a C tier.
Damn.
I
dude.
wish they had a tail.
They do have a tail. This is their tail. All of these spikes.
I wish they had a bigger tail. This is probably one of the weaker Eevee designs for me. I'm gonna say A tier though. I still think it's cool.
Damn. Weaker is A tier. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think this is the weakest evolution.
Dude, electric types fucking slap. I love electric types.
I don't like how spiky he is.
Damn. That's how you get the lightning aspect, you know.
Dude, I
Tanner?
like Jolteon. Go A tier.
Alright, so Nico said, what, C tier?
Yeah.
2 A's, and I'm gonna give S. I guess A tier? A tier?
Yeah, A tier.
Do we...
Put it above Blaziken.
I'm
Definitely
not
don't do
gonna that. I'm not treading into that territory. Next up, another evolution. We got Leafeon. Look at this little cutie. One of the newer ones alongside with Glaceon. What do we think of Leafeon?
S tier.
Yeah, I actually like Leafeon quite a bit. I think an A tier.
Leafeon's super cute.
Tanner's looking puzzled right now.
He doesn't know what to make of it.
Tanner's unzipping his pants right now.
Let's
gonna
keep
be
it in your
honest,
pants till we get to
guys.
Vaporeon.
Why is its
don't-
name Leafeon?
I don't
Why would
like-
what leaf?
I don't
You
like
don't
the way
like
the
it?
leaves look, especially the tail leaf. It's ugly,
No way.
frankly. I'm not a fan
Whoa.
of Leafeon. I'm
Hot
gonna
take.
go D tier. D.
Was that B tier? D! Oh, Lord. I was also going to give Leafeon... I think I was going to give Leafeon an S tier. Damn. This one's truly unfortunate. So that's what? That's 2 S's, an A, and a D.
Just
I guess
throw it in A tier.
Alright, cool. There it goes. I'm sorry, Jackson. Alright.
Just chill.
Litten,
I love how moody Litten looks. He's got so much spunk and personality to him, you know? I think he's like a good A tier.
Do you see a little bit of Mochi in him, Nico?
No.
Do you see a little bit of him in Mochi?
Maybe.
Damn.
I think I'll go B.
B.
Strong B.
Strong B even. Tanner, what do you
That's
think?
basically an A.
I think Litten is really fucking basic. I'm gonna go C tier.
I'm gonna have to agree with Nico's analysis of this Pokemon. I think Litten's pretty lit. So it's 2 A's, a B, and a C. But Jackson said, like, solid B, so I think that'll be landing a solid A. Next up here, Marshtomp. What do you think of Marshtomp, boys?
He's weird and derpy. C tier.
God, I haven't derpy in years. How dare you use that word? What did you give it?
C.
Bro.
C tier.
Bro, Marshtomp fucks, okay? Like, look at this guy. You know he can get it, right?
You don't think he has Asperger's?
That's how he lures women in.
They think he's quirky.
Yeah, I think
So
he's
what's-
fucking whatever, C tier.
What'd you say, Nico?
He's whatever, C tier.
C
I
tier,
think he's
okay.
very
Tanner?
funny, and I kind of like him for that. But also, he doesn't have much going on. I'm gonna go B tier.
B tier. Jackson, what was your ranking one more time?
C.
C. Oh man, so it's 2 C's and a B. I'm also gonna give Marshtomp a C. He's got some stuff going on.
This is also the most expressive I've ever seen him. Whenever he's in the fucking games, he's just like a fucking statue and looks so boring and generic.
Listen, man, I try to find these Pokemon in their best light. I accomplish sometimes.
He just took their official art for basically all of these, except for him for some reason.
You're darn right. I don't know what I was doing, man. I was just finding Pokemon pictures. Anyway, next up here, we've got Mega Blastoise.
Dude, it's kind of lame. B. I don't like his weird chin thing.
The chin thing is weird.
He's sculptured, dude.
Yeah, I think he's like B. He's been mewing
that
a
was
little
gonna
too
be
much
good.
for my liking. Mom, so it's my turn,
I
though.
think he's kind of cool, but only kinda. I'll go B.
B? Yeah, I also agree. I think it's also B tier. I'm hoping I have this picture in here, because apparently we're skipping one. No, we're not. Mega Sceptile. Let's go Google this picture, I guess, really quick, because I guess I don't have it.
Dude, I like that Mega Sceptile's tail is like a big Christmas
Click on
tree.
that one with him in a
Yeah.
field. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
New window. Or you could do that.
Open
No,
it
there
into-
we
there,
Yeah.
there we go. Look at that. What do we think of Mega Sceptile, boys?
Dude, he's pretty fucking badass, you know?
Yeah, I think Sceptile is pretty solid starter. I like,
Like,
his Mega
normal
Evolution a
Sceptile
lot
is kind of
more.
whatever, but Mega Sceptile, this guy is crazy.
Hell yeah,
And, like, he
brother.
can shoot off that tail as a missile as well. That shit's pretty sweet.
Yeah, this guy's
I
got
think-
artillery out the wazoo.
I think he's like an A tier.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'd also say A. I like how he's got like the horn ornaments that are like a
I think
leaf
his
kind of design.
wrist
Cool.
things are
Tanner?
kind of weird, but overall, I'm still gonna give him an S tier.
Use it.
Sceptile fucks.
There we go. Yeah, he does use those blades to cut people, so that is what they're used for, Tanner. You can't cut people with small knives. Everybody knows that. I'm also gonna put Mega Sceptile
Put
in
him
S
in
tier,
S.
so just gonna. All right, moving on here. We got Mega Blaziken. Nico,
Dude,
thoughts?
he's fucking sweet. They took what makes Blaziken cool and they just accentuated all of it. This guy is just a Slaya, okay? A Slaya that belongs in S tier.
Yeah, guys.
Like, I
Thoughts
love
on
the
Mega
fire
Blaziken?
coming off of his wrist. The way that they make his, like, fucking bits that normally go down his head go up instead. Like, he's got this weird, like, X going on his chest. This guy's sweet as hell.
Hell yeah, brother. I agree. Right, Jackson, Tanner, you guys agree too?
Yeah, regular Blaziken I only gave an A to appease Nico. This one I'll actually just give an A because
I agree. Mega Blaziken, pretty cool. They got rid of the dick fur. Massive improvement in my book. I'm gonna give him an A.
Jesus. I also would give Mega Blaziken an S. So looks like Nico's gonna get his desire here. We're getting another Mega and S tier. Hopefully this will satiate you, Nico.
We'll see. Got a few more goodies on this tier list that I'm waiting to see in S tier.
Hell yeah, brother. Alright, speaking of which, we got Mega Charizard X. What are we thinking of Mega Charizard X?
Yeah, I think this is the coolest variant of Charizard out there. I'm gonna give him an A tier.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'd agree. I'd also say A. It's definitely my favorite Charizard.
He's pretty cool. I can't tell if I like the way the wings are like cut out like feathers. And his shoulder spikes are weird as fuck. I think I'm only gonna give him a B.
Yeah, I didn't notice that till just now. That doesn't bother me though. I'd also give Mega Charizard X a solid A tier, so I guess he's just going an A. Following up, Mega Charizard Y.
He's okay. I do like him more than normal Charizard as well. I'll go B tier.
Yeah.
I'd agree with Nico. It's definitely a strong B over regular Charizard for me.
Dude, I think this one fucks. I'm gonna give it an S tier.
I'm also in the vein of I like this one more than regular Charizard. I do not think he's better than Charizard X. I would also give this an A. So
I feel like this is what Charizard would look like if they released him today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is a much more modern looking take on Charizard, which is kind of what I think they were going for.
That's fair, dude. That's fair. All right, we're gonna throw it back. We're going to Meganium. What are we thinking of Meganium?
Meganium's lame, D tier.
Jesus. Okay.
They're really generic. I think they're kind of cute. I'll give them C.
I like Meganium more than Bayleaf. I'm gonna give her a B tier. I like the flower.
That's a hot take. I did state earlier I do not like Meganium more than Bayleaf, and that holds true. I'm going to give Meganium a C tier. So I think that just
I think the leaf
C
thing
tier.
on Bayleaf's head is a lot cooler than like the antennas thing that
I
Meganium
will
has
agree.
going.
Oh, 100%.
I at least like how they have the follow-up design of, like, Jackson says something about the single toes, and now she has 3 here. She had, like, the pods around her neck, and those pods turn into this flower, so at least the evolution makes sense, you know?
Yeah, it honestly just looks like fucking Bayleaf, but the little sprouts around the neck popped out.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Alright, back to the Megas. We got... Why the hell...
Well,
Alright,
there
whatever
it
it
is.
is.
We found it.
I don't know why
For
that's
some
there. This is supposed to be...
These computer graphics.
Yeah, I don't...
Yeah.
It's
He's
fine.
a 3D model.
Look, he's so much better. Mega Swampert. I think this is
I
an
think it's a
improvement
little
on regular
over
Swampert.
designed for me.
This is an improvement, in my opinion.
I don't really know if I'd say it's an improvement over normal Swampert.
No?
I think that, no, he's just like a big, bulky boy now, which I'm sure Tanner's going to be like, I like how roided out he is. I want this man's body S tier. But I think he's a C
Nico
tier.
was 100% correct.
Damn.
This guy fucks. Put him in S tier.
S tier, C tier. Jackson, you said what?
I'd also say C tier. The orange, whatever color those things are, kind of look like boils to me all over
Yeah.
his body.
I'm gonna say A tier. I definitely like his design a lot, so I think that... Yeah, damn. 2 C's, an S, and an A. That's probably...
Probably like high B tier.
Yeah, probably high B tier. There we go. Alright, next we got Mega Venusaur.
Dude, he's really lame. Fucking
Yeah, he's-
D tier.
No different from his original form.
Yeah, he's just like slightly bumpier now and has the
And he
decal
has a
on
flower on his
like
head.
in the middle
like
of his
that
nose.
cat.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah.
flower on his head.
The flower thing looks like what they give stupid characters in cartoons as hair. I'm
your
gonna
word?
give it D as well. I think it's.
I'm
kinda
gonna go
gross.
C
All
tier.
right, Tanner?
I don't think it's like actively bad, but it is just kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever. I'm also gonna give C. Put him there. 'Cause fuck it. Next up, we've got Meowscarada.
Dude, I think that he's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I think he is the best fucking final evolution of this region. However, I don't like the weird little cactus flower thing that he has floating around him. I really hate it when Pokemon have like these weird little extra things with them that like aren't actually part of them at all. It's weird. I don't like it very much. But I'll still say B tier.
Well, I was gonna ask if they use it in like their exclusive attack, but I guess none of us would know that.
Is it supposed to be like a juggling ball or something,
Jackson,
or a hacky sack, or?
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Yeah, maybe. It is the Spain region, so that is a high possibility.
It's
Tanner,
making me uncomfortable how it looks like it's wearing, like, pantyhose. I kinda like it, I kinda think it's mid, and I kinda don't like it, so I guess I'll go C tier then.
Okay, that makes sense. Jackson, I know you love this. I know you always wanted your Sprigatito to get to this final point. What do you think?
I've actually come around in this design a little bit. I think I mostly didn't like it just because I was part of the fucking bandwagon of why the fuck do they always make them bipedal when they're like these cute quadrupeds. But yeah, I think it's okay. I'll give it a B.
B, all right. Tanner gave it a C. Nico, what'd you give it?
I gave a B tier.
B tier. I gave it an A tier. So let's throw that in B tier. It sounds about right, you know. Next up here, we got Monferno. C.
You heard me.
Any other?
Yeah, I think C tier.
Yeah, I think I agree. C tier. He's very basic. He's not cute. He's not like cool, intimidating like Charmeleon. He's just kind of whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also gonna say C tier. There he goes. Alright, probably one of the most adorable starters in my opinion. We got Mudkip. What do we think of Mudkip, boys?
Mudkip's a cute little guy, A tier.
Yeah.
I'll give him A tier as well.
There we go. Tanner? Too cute for you?
The thing is, like, is Mudkip just a meme, though, you know?
I don't know.
No, he's cute.
I think Mudkip's pretty cute.
I do think he's overrated, which is why I'm not giving it an S tier, but, like, I do like his design.
I'm just kind of looking at him, and, you know, he's not really stirring any emotions in me right now, you know? I think I'm gonna go B tier.
Guys, it's no Vaporeon, but I'm also going to give Mudkip an A tier, so let's go ahead and put it right there. Alright, we're moving on to one of my favorites. Oshawott, look at this little cutie. What do we think of Oshawott?
S tier.
There we go. It's just that easy.
Oshawott is, in fact, my favorite starter.
Yeah, I mean, like, Oshawott's also pretty cute. I still don't think he's an S tier, though. I think he's an A tier.
Okay. So we got an S and an A. Tanner, what are you thinking here?
I'm gonna go A. I think Oshawott is pretty rad. I like how he picks up the shell and he uses it to cut stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. I'll also give Oshawott an A. He's one of my favorite starters. Let's go ahead and plop him down. Right there. Next up, Nico's favorite little Smash guy, Pichu.
Dude, I fucking love Pichu. He's the optimal Pikachu clone. He is an easy S tier.
Pikachu clone, and he's the pre-evolution form.
It is weird to think that Pikachu has a full evolution line. For some reason, my brain just thinks that it's like Pikachu and Raichu. I always forget about Pichu.
Yeah, well, it's because for some reason they had Pikachu first, and then they gave him Raichu, and then for some reason they decided to dial it back and also give him a pre-evolution.
I'm gonna give Pichu a B. I think they're all right.
Damn.
Jackson,
Tanner?
have you considered killing
I'm gonna be
yourself
honest,
at all
I'm on the
recently?
same page as Jackson. Pichu is just alright. B tier.
Holy
Tanner, have you
shit.
considered killing yourself recently?
Tanner, let's commit double suicide.
Nico, do I need to consider suicide as well if I say Pichu is a solid A tier?
Yeah.
Damn
Like,
it.
less so. I'd say more so just like having someone murder you and frame it as a suicide, but...
Damn. Alright, boys, looks like we gotta do it. You guys can murder me,
Okay.
and then you guys can kill yourselves afterwards. That's how we'll do. That's how we'll accomplish this. Yeah,
A
so...
tier, yeah.
Shit, dude, I don't know. Probably A tier.
That's absolutely an A tier.
These... there.
I don't know if I'd put him above Oshawott, but also I don't think where they're going and there really matters at all. So
Listen, man, I'm doing it for funnies. Anyway, we're moving on to Pig Knight. What do we think of Pig
dumb.
I
Knight?
don't know about F tier.
Yeah, I don't like Pig Knight very much.
Yeah, I'm gonna say D tier.
Yeah, I agree, D tier.
I'm also gonna say D tier. I'm glad we can all agree here. Yeah, I like Tippig. I like Embor. Not a huge fan of
What does Pig Knight even mean? Like,
all right, boys. He's a pig and he's a fire type, so he Pig Knights. We got the class. We're throwing back a classic here. This is the original Pikachu, boys. What do we think of Pikachu?
We already rated this one.
I know.
dude, he's Pikachu. Everyone loves Pikachu. I think he's like fine, you know. He's Pikachu. Maybe that's because of the overexposure to Pikachu, but like, you know.
Yeah.
I think there's cuter Pikachus.
I think that there are cuter Pikachus as well. I think like B tier.
honestly,
Yeah.
I still really like this guy, and I think he's rad, and I want to take him home and take care of him. I'm gonna give him an S tier.
I literally missed everything you said before S tier, but I'm also gonna give Pikachu a B tier.
Crazy.
That probably still lands him at B tier. Moving on, we got Piplup. What do you think of Piplup?
Dude, people
little
love
penguin.
Piplup. I think Piplup's fine, B tier.
I agree as well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think he's a cutie patootie. I'd say A.
A. All right. Looks like he's going.
I'm
up there.
also at Gen 4 was my first Pokemon Gen, so I'm a little nostalgic for them.
That makes sense.
Except for fucking Chimchar.
I feel like that's a solid way to start. Next up, the one I got confused with earlier.
The weird
Popplio.
one, D tier.
D tier? You're gonna put
D
it lower?
tier.
Oh,
D
I think
B
this
tier.
one's pretty. I think it's pretty inoffensive. I'd say C.
I think the
Okay.
Popplio hate
Tanner?
is a little overrated. I'm gonna go B tier.
I think
I'll
you're a
choke
little
slam you into
overrated,
your own
dude.
mother.
I'm also gonna give it B tier. So what was that? It was like
No,
3 B's and a
Nico
C.
gave it
Is that what
D.
it was? No, damn. Well, regardless, it goes B. And we're moving on to its final evolutionary form, Primarina. What do you think? of
This
Primarina?
one
Okay.
fucking sucks. Put it in F tier.
I'm gonna say D. I think it's weird.
Yeah, I think D tier.
I don't think the design's that bad, but it's also not doing much. I'm gonna say C tier, so that probably still lands it in D. Next up, following the Piplup line, we've got Prinplup. What
Prinplup
do
is
we think?
stupid, D tier.
I'm gonna say C. I think it's
Prinplup
pretty
looks like
inoffensive.
one of these nerds that says, actually, way too much. I'm gonna go C tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in. He falls in the realm of Pig Knight. I'm also gonna put him in D tier. So let's just go ahead and put him there. Next up, the starter I went with, we've got Quackleval, I think
the
is how you
fuck is
pronounce
he?
it. I was never
Quackleval.
sure. Quackleval.
You
He
see,
is
Tanner,
a-
the fun thing about this generation's starters is that 2 of them are gay and the other one's a crocodile.
I agree with
F.
Dude, damn.
I really do not like it. He's got weird feet. He's got his fucking ass sticking out. He's got like the weird femboy, flamboyant posturing. I don't
He's
like
a
his weird
Yeah,
dancer.
fucking
this looks
Jack,
like I'm
he's a
looking at some
dancer.
fucking non-Euclidean geometry. I'm gonna go F tier as well.
Yeah, I think D tier.
Alright, so 2 F's, a D. This design grew on me, and that's probably just because I chose him as a starter. I'd say B tier, so that probably
Yeah,
falls
keep him in D.
D tier anyway, I think. Unfortunate. We got Quaxley, the first in line of that evolution. What do we think of Quaxley?
He's okay. I think B tier.
Yeah, he's got a little greaser look going on with him.
When I look at his hair, it makes me think there's like another creature that lives on him, and he's making like the 3 cat face.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll give
I
him a
agree
B.
with
I
the
think
B.
he's
I
cute.
kind of like
Okay.
this little guy.
I also say B tier. I think he's pretty solid. Here we go. Right up there. Alright. Next up here we have Quaxwell. The in-between of
D.
those two.
I've never seen this one before. This one's fucking weird.
It is... No, it does fall
Why'd
into
they
Pig Knight
make it
territory,
look like his
unfortunately.
feet are like shoes?
Cause he's a dancer, Tanner.
I was gonna say he's got some little stompers on.
Is he
Yeah.
wearing a
He's a
fucking
dancer.
special ed helmet?
I think that's to go with like the big hair look from his first evolutionary form. I
It
don't
looks
know.
like he's got a wife beater.
I'm gonna go D. I think this one looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, D tier
Yeah.
for me as well. He definitely suffers from that fucking awkward middle stage evolution syndrome.
Yeah. Also, Nico, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe this is one of the only starters where the first letter of the name doesn't change throughout the evolutionary line, right?
I don't know.
That's crazy. I'm gonna go there, following the same
Hold
hell
on,
as everybody else.
Dylan.
And
I
next
did
we've
just
got
think of the
Quilava.
obvious one. You said doesn't change, right? Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard.
Doesn't change. There we go, the first ever. Let it be known. We figured out the mystery. Alright, boys, Quilava. What do we think of Quilava? Look, he's got a
Quilava's really cool, A tier.
There we
I'm a
go.
big fan of Quilava. I like this
C.
guy A tier.
Whoa. I also say A tier. Fuck you, Jackson.
He's
What
so
are you guys seeing?
Yeah,
in
look
these
how
he's so
fucking
punk
rad
rock,
he
He's
is,
got a
dude.
fucking mohawk. He's got a fire tail. Look at him. He stands on his hind legs, even though he's on all four in the games for some reason.
Hey, he looks dumb as shit to me.
what? He's
Whatever,
friggin'
man.
sweet, yo.
Speaking of dumb as shit,
Yeah, speaking of which, we got Quilladin.
what
Yeah.
the fuck is this thing? It looks like you pick him up and throw him.
This is the evolution of Chespin that eventually evolves into Chestnut.
Yeah. F tier.
Whoa! He's so cute
I'm
though.
gonna-
Look at him.
I'm
Look at
gonna
his
say
face.
I'm gonna say D because he's so happy to be around. You know,
Yeah.
bro's
He's so
enjoying
happy to
life.
Honestly-
exist.
Yeah,
The
I will punch
expression
him
is
if I
doing a
see
lot
him.
for me. I kind of like this guy. I'll go C tier.
I'm also gonna say C tier, so I think that still lands him in C tier. Alright, a personal favorite of Nico's. I know this for a fact. We got Raboot.
I think Rabbit's really cool, A tier.
Thoughts?
B.
His
B.
Why is B so such a fucking
his
reaction
name is
from
really
you?
I don't know,
fucking
man. Just trying to keep things
stupid.
interesting.
I think I'll go B as well.
Alright, two B's. Nico gave it an A. I'm also gonna give Raboot an A. I think it's a pretty solid design. I'm gonna put it. I grabbed the wrong one again. Put him at the bottom of A. Alright, next up, we got regular ass Raichu. What do
Yeah,
we
let's
think
try to
of regular
speed
ass
this up a little
Raichu?
bit. We're going pretty long on this.
Yeah,
Hey,
A tier.
Yeah, I like
His
Raichu, A
ears
tier.
are weird, and he's not as cuddly as his Alolan form. I'm gonna go B.
You cut out there, Tanner. What was it?
Holy
B.
shit.
I'm also gonna go A tier. Easy dub. Next, we've got Rillaboom. He doesn't have his drum, unfortunately.
C.
Good, because he's even worse with the drum. It's really strange how he has it all on him all the time.
I
B
kind of
tier.
like how he's just a fucking gorilla. I'll go A tier.
A tier. Jackson, you cut out a bit. What'd you say?
C.
C. I also think it's B tier design. Alright, Cutie up next. Rowlet. What do we think of Rowlet?
He's a round guy. I love him. He's friend-shaped, as the girls say, I guess. B tier.
I'm also
I'll say
gonna go
tier. I
A
like
tier.
Rowlet.
He's
fun.
funny,
Me too.
and I kind of want to pet him.
I also
He's got a little bow tie. I love him.
I also think he's between A and B, but I'm more leaning towards A, so that's pretty solid. Next up, Samurott. The boy is back, and he looks pretty much the same. What do we think?
Fuck him, D tier.
I'm gonna say A again. 'cause I
He's
still think
just
he's cool.
whatever to me. C tier.
I actually like the Hisuian form more. I'm gonna put him in B tier, which I think lands him in B tier anyway. Yeah. Regular Sceptile. What are we thinking here?
Dude, normal Sceptile is okay, B tier.
Honestly, I really like Sceptile. In fact, I think he fucks. I'm gonna go S tier.
B tier, S tier.
I'm gonna say B, honestly. I don't remember him looking like he smoked so much weed.
I also like Sceptile not as much as Mega Sceptile. I'm gonna put him A tier, so I think that lands him in A, rounding that out. Next up, Score Bunny, the bunny himself.
Maybe Yeah, I like Score Bunny. He's neat. Not like that neat though.
Yeah,
B tier.
he's just kind of a rabbit. I'll go B.
2 Bs, Jackson.
C.
C. I like his design.
I don't like Score Money that much.
I think he's pretty solid. I think A. So it goes in B.
He like has the fucking weird cartoon character, tiny ass legs with his big ass feet look. I'm not a huge fan of that.
Bugs Bunny. Anyway, Superior.
Dude,
Leaf
Superior's
Snake.
fucking
Agreed.
whatever. C tier.
I agree.
I actually really like Superior. I'm gonna say
Put her
S
in
tier.
B.
S tier. Holy shit.
I think Superior is cool.
Bottom of B. Pig Knight territory, possibly. We got Servine.
Yeah, D tier.
I actually
I'm
like
gonna say
Servine.
C.
I'm gonna go A.
A. I'm also going to give Servine a C tier, so that probably lands C tier anyway. Next up, we've got Skeledirge.
You see, it's the crocodile.
It's
He's
Fuecoco.
fine, I guess. I don't know. I really wish that he would have stood up on 2 legs, you know, had like a fucking... Because, like, his whole thing, he's a singer, you know? Why does he fucking sit on the ground when he's singing? It's weird. I don't like it very much. C tier.
Damn.
His body's much more round than I thought it was. I'm
Yeah.
gonna say
I think
B.
Skella, whatever the fuck,
Tanner?
fucks. S tier.
S tier. I'm also going to say
Probably
B
in B.
tier, so probably still B tier. Next up, following to finish it off, Snivy.
Dude, I like his little smirk. He's pretty sweet.
I
think B
appreciate
tier.
how sassy
Yeah.
Snivy is. I'm gonna go A tier.
There we
I'm
go.
gonna say B.
I'm also going to say B. Here we go. The one everybody forgets about, Sobble.
Dude. Sobble
Agreed.
is lame. C tier.
Jackson, opinion on the frog.
C.
Alright, glad we're all in agreement here. Sprigatito!
Dude,
What do
I
you
love
think
the
of
weed cat.
Sprigatito?
A tier.
You know what? I think Sprigatito is cute enough to be S tier for me.
Damn. Alright,
Um,
Jackson.
I'll say A tier.
A tier? Yeah, I think Sprigatito's pretty fucking cute. I'll put her in S, or A tier. There we go. Starting to lose reach here. Next up, we got the classic boy himself, Squirtle.
Squirtles?
He's fine.
A.
B
C.
tier.
C, B, A. I also say B tier.
Squirtle's rad.
I love Squirtle, but, you know. Yeah. Next, we got Swampert.
Dude, Swampert almost fucks. I'm giving him an A tier.
Yeah?
I've been really tossing out B tiers here today, but he's another one to me. B tier.
B tier. Jackson?
I'll say B as well.
Yeah, I remember his design looking worse. I actually kind of like this, but I'm still gonna put him in B tier. So yeah, B tier. Next up, one of my new favorites. We got Sylveon.
Yeah, I think Sylveon's great. Definitely a solid
Yeah.
addition to the EVs. A tier.
I think
I'd also say A
Sylveon's
tier.
kind of whatever. I'm
Tanner?
gonna go C tier.
And that's
C
because
tier.
you're not very confident in your masculinity, Tanner.
I fucking love Sylveon. She's a great addition to any team. I'm gonna say S tier. So that goes A. Next up, the boy himself, Tepig. Everybody loves him.
Yeah, I love him so much. I'm gonna give him B tier.
Oh man.
I
I
agree
love
with
him
the
so
B
much, I'm
tier.
gonna
I
give
think
him
he's
B tier
a
as
funny
well.
little guy.
Yeah, I think
Don't say he's wearing
Tepig's
a diaper.
solid, but nothing crazy. I'm also gonna say B tier. All right,
I've
moving on
never
here.
seen this in
Thwacky.
my fucking
What do you
life.
think of Thwacky? This is the evolution of Grookey, part of the Rillaboom line.
He looks like he's really skirting the line of an Asian stereotype. C tier.
I'll go B tier.
Jesus.
I'll also say C.
Jackson?
C.
C.
No,
I think it
I'm
was all
going B
three
tier. I
Cs.
like his attitude.
You're going B. I also say C,
Whoa.
so looks like he's going in C. All right, the cutie himself, Torchic.
Dude, I love Torchic. He's pretty great. I'm gonna give him an S tier.
I think Torchic's alright. I'll give him B.
Sure is just kind of a chicken. I'm gonna go C tier for chicken.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna say A tier.
Does it matter to you that I'm going mad? Not sure if I can go away and reflect on it. Not sure if I can go through my own madness. If I can go to the top of a mountain like a Buddhist monk, perhaps I may have a chance. Life, my DNA has
he can sit up here right next to Blaziken, alright? How about that? They make a pair.
For my
Look
art,
at this.
is it fair for a man to sacrifice his sanity for his craft? Is that what God wants?
I don't know, but what do you think of
why must he be
Torcat?
sacrificed?
What the fuck is this thing? D tier.
Evolution of Litten, precursor to Incineroar. What do we
Dude,
think?
That's such
there are
meaty
people out there who
forearms.
actually really like Torcat. I think he's
I
fucking
agree
lame,
with
though. I
D
think
tier.
he's a D tier. Actually, not D tier. I think it's too harsh. C tier.
I agree with D tier. I
What'd you
think
say,
he's
Tanner?
kind of whack.
DC Jackson, you said D as well.
Yeah.
Put
I'm
him
gonna
in
say
C.
D. C tier, I guess. Next up, Torterra. What do you think of Torterra, boys?
Torterra's pretty cool. I'm gonna say A.
Yeah, I think he's neat, but
I
not
think
A,
Torterra's
B.
really rad. I'm gonna go A tier.
I'm also gonna say A tier. I think that's enough to put him in A tier. Tanner, it's your time to shine.
Fucking
It's
Totodile. I
Totodile.
love
He's
this
here.
guy. I am gonna go S tier. Look at that happy little friend.
I
You
think
cut
he's
out, I'm assuming you
alright.
said-
Also another B tier.
I'll also say B.
I did.
Tanner, you cut out. I'm assuming you said S tier. Alright, I say A tier. That's just gonna put him in A tier. Unfortunately, like all the others. Cannot catch any dubs today. We got Trico. What do we think of Trico? I think he's pretty rad.
Dude, I think his pose
C.
is so fucking stupid. C tier.
I think Trico's kind of funny. I'll go B tier.
Alright, C tier, B tier. Jackson, what'd you say?
C.
C. We got two B's and a C. Yeah, sure. Put him there. Alright, Turtwig. What do you think of Turtwig?
Turtwig's a cute guy. Tier.
Whoa. Jackson, what was that?
Dude,
A.
Turtwig fucks.
Tanner,
I'm
what
putting
did
him
you
in
say?
S tier.
An S and A. Nico, you said B?
A tier.
A tier.
Whoa.
I think he's also A tier. Jesus, our A tier is fucking stacked, bro. Next up, Typhlosion.
Dude, I think he's so fucking whatever. He's a big ol' Cyndaquil, like fucking whatever. I don't care. C tier.
I think it'd be fun to cuddle one. I think he'd be a nice, like, fun body pillow.
Interesting take.
B for body pillow.
I think Typhlosion
CB. Tanner,
fucks.
what do
I'm
you
putting
think?
him in S tier.
I think I'm also going to give it a B, so I think that drags him down to B. Alright, our second to last evolution here. We got Umbreon, who was my second favorite for a while. What are we thinking here, boys?
Dude,
S tier.
yeah, I'm definitely not there with ya. Espeon is really whatever to me. I think B tier.
Can we kick Nico off the podcast?
I mean, to be fair, we did sideline two of his favorites in A tier. So I
Three
think
of
he's-
them!
Okay, we're right about
Umbreon is the best evolution. I'm putting him in A.
Alright, I also, I think S tier as well. I think that's enough to put him in A.
Did you know Umbreon was initially supposed to be a poison type?
That would have been solid. I can see that.
Isn't there still not a poison
I
evolution?
want them to make
No.
a
There's
dragon.
not. There's a lot of
That'd be cool as
evolutions
fuck.
we don't have. There's some
would be
concepts
cool.
for that. Anyway, we got time to
S
move on to
tier.
Vaporeon.
S tier.
S tier.
I'm not even
S
gonna
for
bother.
sex.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother
Did you
rating this
know
myself. I'll just put it
Vaporeon?
in S tier. I think. I think Vaporeon's kind of alright. I don't like the gills and all that. I think Vaporeon's kind of mid. B tier. Venusaur.
Dude, speaking of B tier, I'm kidding. That's far too
Yeah,
generous. C tier
Venusaur,
is
C
stupid.
tier. He's whatever.
C.
Yeah.
Let's
Venusaur's
put
kinda
War
alright.
Turtle there while we're at it.
No,
War
Wartortle's
Turtle.
fucking cool. I'm giving Wartortle A.
I do think Wartortle is pretty solid. I like the fluffs on it. They gave his ears.
Yeah,
and his
what's
tail.
weird is the fluffs
pretty
do not
neat.
make any fucking sense. I'm sure it's a reference to some Japanese folklore thing, but I still think they look fucking cool. I'm going A tier. Of course.
I think that's enough to put him A tier.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite of the designs.
All right. So there we go. That is our Pokemon tier list. Please.
I mean, you'd
top
hope
heavy.
so,
it
since
is
these are
extremely
like,
top
you know,
heavy. We have
the flagship ones for each,
The good
game.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, take notes. This is what the people want. This is objectively the best Pokemon tier list. Now, really quick before we move on to our last bit here, are
No.
there any last-minute changes we want to make that
Put
we will
Blaziken
fight
S
tooth and nail
tier.
for?
Can we put Leafeon in S tier? And
Can you
You
put
should.
it-
while we're
No,
at it.
Dylan,
All right,
we've
so
gone
let's
on
talk
long
about-
enough, and we're gonna fight over this for another half hour if you let them. Leave it where it is.
I'm sorry, Nico. Blaziken will forever be S tier in your heart. Jackson, Leafeon, and Glaceon will forever be S tier in your heart. But unfortunately, on the Guapish objective starter Pokemon tier list, they will remain an A tier. And now, speaking of A tier, I think it's time for a little Guapish at the movies, boys.
Brandy, you're a fine girl. Wait, no, that was...
Fine. No, that was
the last
another one.
one.
What was the one that All My Friends Hate Me? That one was a banger. Yeah. Jackson, what did we watch this week, my dude?
Our Patreon request for this week, as requested by our lovely Patreon Tutbot, only $1 a month, and you can request a movie every month to us, by the way. We watched the 2021 film All My Friends Hate Me, which is a UK-based
Is it a thriller?
thriller.
Oh, yeah.
I would say
thought it was
thriller
supposed to be
is
a
the most
comedy.
applicable genre.
Yeah, I would
I'm
also say that.
I don't know if this movie would be a comedy.
What's really funny about you saying that is I'm looking at the tags I have for it on the website, and comedy is actually I think the first tag I
I'm
have for
pretty
it
sure
on
it's supposed to
TMDB.
be a
Oh,
That's why I put it there, and I'm like looking at it now, and I was about to say I cannot believe they have it as comedy. 'cause
Yeah, I
this
think
is
it's
not
supposed to be like a
fucking
dark comedy.
Yeah.
However, guys, I'll go ahead and tell you all about this cheeky little film we got here. So, All My Friends Hate Me is a film about Skippy. He's the birthday boy, so he goes to hang out with his posh rich friends at their daddy's mansion. But things are ruined when they bring along some rando that they met at a bar. From here, we watch as Skippy is filled with dread as strange interactions with his friends and the rando continue to compound until it is simply too much for him to bear. So he murders the rando and then he proposes to his girlfriend. She says no, but actually yes.
Yeah, I don't think he murders him in the end. Tanner, what's your haiku?
Awkward birthday boy. Friends acting sus all movie. Oh, coincidence?
I think not.
I was trying to big brain this movie, but it turns out this movie did not require any big braining. It was very not big brain at all. Because I thought eventually, like, the random they brought along would be, like, some kind of mental projection of Skippy's, and that wasn't it at all. I just like how this movie basically turned into, no, this guy is a self-conceited asshole that thinks everything's about him and can't take a fucking joke at the same time. So he just slowly loses mental sanity over the course of the entire movie, and we just find out that it's not his friends that are being weird and fucking changing, it's just this guy and his perception of what's going on around him that makes it seem like awful things are happening.
Yeah, and how'd you like the film, Dylan?
Like I said, I tried a lot of the movie trying to big brain it. It didn't make me hate the movie. I thought it was an enjoyable watch. I was definitely trying to figure out what was going on. I knew there was a deeper
wasn't.
message going on here, and then there wasn't. They just revealed at the end, like, the girlfriend's like, you need to learn how to take a fucking joke, and I was like, oh. Yeah, I guess when you take this film from the perspective of this guy, it is very self-explanatory now, isn't it?
I mean, they are also just not treating him very well for the
Yeah,
most part.
at the
but
same time.
But it also ties into what I've seen a lot of people say about this movie, and it's mostly just he's changed as a person. Like when you have like really close friend groups, especially like really casual ones where nobody's really that mature with things, you guys will be just mean to each other. You'll make, offensive jokes and shit like that, and just kind of poke fun and shit at each other.
Yeah, like
all
a
the time.
common
That's just-
thing that people have said when watching this podcast is like, man, you guys are really mean to Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan is Skippy. So basically, people basically just say that, like, he has obviously matured a lot and his friends really haven't. They're kind of still the same people for the most part as they were in college when they're still primarily friends in that friend group form. But he's matured a lot, obviously. He had like a kind of like a massive character arc and like became a better person or something when he got out of college. And because of that, he just doesn't really mesh with their style of comedy or whatever they're trying to do. And they try to throw it onto him, but also he's not sticking anymore because he's just changed as a person. Plus, he wasn't taking his meds.
I'm gonna kind of
compound.
disagree with you there because they like make it a point at like 2 points of the movie to be like, oh no, they've matured and it's actually him who is kind of immature.
I did catch that note for a hot second. My big thing here was, because here's where like the gray lines ensue, is where he talked himself, and this could go back to like the whole world centers around him. He's remembering details that they don't remember, and he's not remembering a single thing of what they remember. Which goes to show, is it like memory loss? Like, who's the memory loss on? Because obviously they did some like drugs and alcohol and fucked up shit when they were younger. So I'm hard pressed to believe that they all forgot and he remembered, but it's kind of up for interpretation. It's kind of my general consensus
it's
here.
important to keep in mind, we see in this film that our main boy here is also a bit of an unreliable narrator as well. Like, we don't know how much of, like, what is actually happening here is, like, just kind of in his head and, like, how bad these interactions are, like, actually, like, the way that he's framing them in his mind here. Because, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, for me personally, there'll definitely be plenty of interactions where it's, like, in the moment I feel like, oh, holy shit, that was some tense stuff right there. Oh, my gosh. But then, like, later in retrospect, it's like, oh, that was, like, no fucking big deal whatsoever.
Yeah.
Also, again, I don't really know how much we're supposed to take from it, but like, again, he is off his like anxiety meds.
I thought those
I don't
were
know how
a
much that
joke.
really affects him, or if there's some
like a joke in that
No.
they don't actually do anything because they were like what they were called herbal calms. I thought that was a bit where it's like, yeah, these are complete placebos that don't actually impact it. So it doesn't matter that he hasn't been taken.
I didn't catch that detail that was said. Also, back to the previous point with what Tanner was like combating me about like the moral thing. I don't think him specifically being the one that matured in this scenario is like. I think it's mostly just them kind of shifting apart as people and like what they view things as.
Yeah.
It's like they stayed more consistent in like their style of comedy or whatever than he has. Is the bigger thing rather than maybe it being a mature thing.
I can agree with that. I didn't like this movie. I'll just say that off the bat. So it's like a horror comedy basically, and I think a big thing for me is that like the premise just doesn't work for me. Because like what I was interpreting it as I was watching it is I was like, okay, this is supposed to be like a horror movie where the monster is anxiety. And as someone who doesn't deal with anxiety almost at all, I just, like, I cannot get into the movie at all. I do think, well, I suspect if I watch it a second time, I would like it a lot more, because then it would come across as a comedy far more to me, since I would know that ultimately there's nothing behind any of the interactions. But the first time you're watching through, you're like, oh man, maybe something is weird, because, they're very specifically framing it so that you do go, oh, something is up. But yeah, this just from the very basic premise, this movie did not work for me. And so even though I think the execution was pretty solid, and I think the writing is pretty good, it's not in service of anything that interests me.
I think Tanner's just maybe a little too dense here, okay? Because I feel like, the way in which the writing is, kind of like done here and like the character interactions themselves, I definitely feel like they're framed in a way that's supposed to like kind of give you that sense of like what it's like to have this sort of like social anxiety and stuff like that. So even people who don't experience that personally are able to relate to the character much more when these things are happening.
Yeah, I mean, two quick thoughts here. The first one being, I don't know if this was like something that happened to you guys. I constantly, this movie like let us venture out in our own thoughts, and then it would grab us and snatch us back to Skippy's like perspective, like point of view. Like, you think that the movie's going this way, and they're like, no. Remember, this movie's about like after the movie's over, this movie's about Skippy. Remember, this is how he sees it. This is how he would react. So we're gonna frame the movie in his frame of mind. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. And one thing that also falls flat with me is when they try to make a horror comedy. When you guys told me it was a horror comedy, those are just such polar opposites where I know it's either going to do one or the other, because I don't think you can pull off both successfully in the same movie. So either one's going to fall flat or in this case, I think both fell flat, where I guess I was, it was a suspenseful movie, but when I realized nothing, like about halfway through after I realized nothing's actually gonna happen, I lost that horror aspect, and then this movie didn't really get me to laugh at all, so the comedy aspect also fell flat, so it didn't really accomplish either of those goals.
Well, this movie really worked for me, if anything. We've got two negative Nancy's here. I'll even us out a little bit. Obviously the production, from a production standpoint, this movie is really good. I think the acting, the writing, the cinematography is all really solid. I like the general idea of this movie, too. It's very non-conventional with its approach, which I can appreciate a lot. I actually don't know if I've ever really heard of a horror movie or something like this structured this way, which is cool. Also, this movie definitely left me feeling a little weird after I was done with it. Like, I hopped into, like, a Discord call with my brother and some other friends after it, and I felt, like, very conscious about the way I was acting. Which I don't. And Tanner's giving me like, you're a fucking loser look right now.
You get affected by movies? What the fuck is wrong with you?
But no, it just made me think about stuff a lot like that, and I think that's cool that a movie can like kind of break that barrier.
I do think this just kind of backs up my point where I'm like, I don't really deal with social anxiety, so I couldn't glom onto anything in this movie. I think it's fair to say Jackson and Nico, out of the four of us, are the most socially anxious people here, and you guys like the movie, so.
I mean, I hide it very well.
I feel like generally I'm able to hide it decently enough. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when we got to the big twist at the end of the film, I was very worried about it because I did not like the twist initially when he reveals it like, are you that little girl's brother who I murdered all those years back? Because I was like, well, there's no build-up to this whatsoever. How are we supposed to, like, figure out that this is what's been going on? But no, then the double twist on top of that of, like, what? No. What the fuck are you talking about? I thought that was fantastic. I was a big fan of that because, like, the actual twist, he's just that fucking magician or whatever that they saw at that party all those years ago. Like, that is something that they actually do set up throughout the movie. And so that being the reality of it made it fantastic, I thought.
Yeah. See, and I thought, it's funny you bring that up because I think that's actually what sealed it for me in the sense that this was a really good movie, because it really just goes to show, like, man, he's so self-conscious about everything and the way people view him and the way people... Because, like, all throughout the movie, he's like, oh, did you tell the new guy that I'm shy? And they're like, no, like, why would you say that? And then it just goes to show, like, at the end when he, like, admits to this big, egregious thing that he did, he is just so, like I said, concerned about himself and his well-being. And then they're like, no, this is just that guy we mentioned that you forgot about all those years ago. And then, like... Then you're like, oh, well, maybe, yeah, so that's what's wrong. He's just a fucked up person, and that's what the premise of this movie is, so...
Yeah, he gets, so railroaded with this idea that, like, this guy is, like, out to get me or something like that. There's something going on here. That even, like, when he's going through the guy's stuff, and he finds, like, the wizard hat, he just throws it to the side. He doesn't acknowledge it whatsoever, even though it's like, oh, yeah, if I, like, paid attention to what my friends were talking about earlier, I can maybe, like, connect some dots here with what's going on.
Yeah.
I think this movie does a really good job of putting us in the main character's perspective too, because I don't know if you guys probably picked up on this when you were watching it, but just the atmosphere of everything really follows pretty closely with how things were from his perspective. Like, the movie starts off kind of uncomfortable just from the first two interactions he had, and then it just slowly keeps building and building and building and building as we go through scenes, and finally his girlfriend comes, and immediately it's like a crazy amount of weight is taken off. Like, everything is so much more calm. It honestly seems like it's kind of flipped into the perspective of everyone's cool with the main character again, and they don't like the fucking magician guy, like they're shutting him down a lot. And it's because he found, like, he's got something to latch onto finally. Like, after all of this time, he finally has somebody to, like, grasp onto. It's kind of like his rock in this sense. And then, of course, he's brought right back into the fucking trenches with, like, the big reveal, which I think is really cool. I think they do a really good job of, like, putting us in the main character's shoes, which is, like, the whole point of this movie is to make us, like, empathize with his character and kind of get sucked into his realm of thinking. And I think they do a really good job with that.
The ending, for me, kind of plays into my complaint where, like, it to me, it comes across as, like, way too revealing that, yes, you're watching a movie and we very intentionally plan things out, because it's like, oh, he's wearing a bag on his head because, in our main character's mind, he choked out the girl with the bag. He's like, no, it's this random other thing. Why were you barking? No, it's this random other thing. Like, it's just, it's too convenient to me, and it just very much comes across like, yeah, you're watching a movie. We did these things, but it's actually these other things. Haha.
Tanner, I think you need to stop drinking that fucking haterade for 1 second here. Give us a positive about this movie, other than the production.
And also, like, I genuinely had a hard time understanding a lot of the characters
That's not a positive.
because they're British.
I did. You guys said I needed subtitles. I understood them perfectly.
I understood them pretty fine throughout the whole thing as well.
Our speakers are fucking dog shit, too. Our setup right now is horrible. Like, it's literally just 2 speakers behind us on top of the floor, so they're just vibrating the entire house, which muddles everything and makes it sound like ass, which is not helping anything.
A positive. I mean, yeah, I already, it's shot well, the acting is fine.
Fine, that's a pretty good positive right there.
All right, well, I guess with that, let's roll into the ratings.
I was just gonna say, like, the final thing. This movie definitely seems like it'd be really fun to do a second watch of, just from like having that first perspective and then just going back into it and see all the the details you miss. It definitely is the type of movie that lends itself to that, and I probably will watch it again ASAP. I want to find another friend to like blind watch it with. I was trying to con Tanichi into watching it with me. Anyways, Dylan.
Oh, me first? Yeah. You guys said that I was hating on it a lot. I didn't actually hate this movie. I really liked this movie. It was super solid. I like how it reeled me in and got me so involved in its narrative and its storytelling. I gave this movie an A+.
Holy shit, Tanner, you want to take us down a little here, dude?
Yeah, I gave it a D+.
You're a psycho, Jackson.
Yeah, actually, I like this movie a lot. I think this is one of my favorite horror, quote-unquote, movies we've seen. I don't know if I qualify it as a horror.
Yeah, I definitely think it's more of a thriller.
It feels like a horror at the start without knowing what's going to happen, and then, you finish it and you're like, okay, this wasn't a horror. It's just really fucking stressful. I actually surprisingly gave this movie an S-. That might change. I might drop it a little lower, but I actually really enjoyed this movie, and I've been thinking about it a lot. And I feel like there's probably more I should have said, but I lost it because I never wrote it down.
Yeah, I wrote down quite a lot personally, and I did not get to a lot of this shit. But, like, that's fair enough. I don't just want to be gabbing at you guys this entire time. I thought this was a really solid film, It's very creative. The idea of social anxiety and spinning into this suspense-fueled narrative is really creative. I enjoy that a lot. I'm going to give this an A tier.
Ooh.
Jackson, you muted yourself.
And that puts it at an A- overall. I thought I clicked my button to unmute. Whoops.
Woohoo! A-. That's
A- is honestly pretty solid, given we have a fucking D+ mixed into there.
Yeah, surprisingly, it's not me this time.
True. I was very curious how you were going to react to this movie, Dylan. I'm glad that you acted positively to it.
This movie was fucking awesome.
Anyways, speaking of Dylan, we've got his pick of the week, which was the 1989 film All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Yeah, I remembered literally nothing about this movie, apparently. Yeah, so the All Dogs Go to Heaven. Pretty self-explanatory. You got some dogs that run a casino, I guess. They do some pretty shady stuff. The main dog dies. He goes to heaven, surprisingly, because all dogs are good no matter what. He revives himself, takes the other dog's, little girl that he kidnapped, and eventually just becomes a better dog, overcoming all this stuff, and this little girl's changing him. He ends up dying again, and he gets accepted back to heaven because he risks his life to save the girl, and he goes to heaven, and that's how the movie... Thoughts?
Dude, I got a thought for you right here. Tanner, what's this dumb haiku you got?
Dude, my haiku, as inspired by All Dogs Go to Heaven, is a very bad dog dies, then kidnaps an orphan.
Yeah,
then he dies again.
I definitely attribute... when I finish the movie, I attribute this to, this is definitely just a movie that was on at daycare that I'd see in passing glances but didn't care about, so I thought I'd watch it, but I actually didn't.
You guys want to have a fun fact about this movie?
Dude,
no.
Go for it.
Well, I'm going to give it anyway. Fuck you, Jackson. All right, so the voice actress in this film for, the little girl, she's the same person who voices Ducky from The Land Before Time.
Ooh, yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, she also got murdered by her father.
Oh, shit.
This is her final role.
Oh. That's a bit tragic.
Seems appropriate, honestly. This is a weird as fuck movie.
Yeah.
It's just strange beginning to end. The songs are fucking terrible.
Yeah.
They
so
100%
bad.
seem like something that the studio ordered them to add in after the fact. Basically none of them really have anything to do with the film except for the one where the alligator is singing. The rest of them are generic shit about sharing and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I definitely got is this movie supposed to be a musical? Because they sure didn't put any effort to actually singing the songs. They're just kind of there.
And the voice acting is all around just bad. This is not a very good movie.
I wouldn't go that far, Tanner. Like, I think that this movie is weird for sure. I don't think it's like terrible though. I don't think it's like great or anything like that, or like even like very good. But like, I don't think it's a bad movie.
Yeah, I think it's very strange. I think it is surprisingly explicit for a children's G-rated movie,
right?
In its themes. I think its plot structure is pretty wonky too, especially near the end. It kind of goes off the rails a little bit. I do like the idea that the entire movie is just these two fucking dickheads exploiting some child. That's pretty funny. I really don't have much to say about this movie. It's just some weird kids movie with dog shit singing.
Yeah, to elaborate more, since I kind of gave a nothing sandwich when I delivered this, it's definitely a little weird to rate. Like I said, the musical, I guess, side of it, you could say, is just kind of there. It's whatever. The voice acting's pretty mid. There's nothing extravagant about this movie. I think it's a charming movie. I think it's touching. It's not a bad movie, like Nico said. I definitely would watch it again, but, you know, it's not... I'm not gonna go crazy to watch this movie, basically.
I would definitely never watch this again, personally.
Damn. Alright, well, with not much else to say, what are we ranking it, guys?
I guess I'll kick us off with an electric C-.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be going for a C, I think. I was actually muted that entire time. I gave my ranking before, but oops.
Oopsies. Damn, I still ended up highest on this movie. Like I said, I think it's charming. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I still like this movie. I think it's a good watch. I gave it a B.
Dylan, I don't know why the fuck you thought you were going to be anything lower than the highest on this movie.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Anyways, that landed at a solid C tier overall. That's sounds about right to me.
That's fair. I almost put it in C tier, but I like the charm of this movie. I think it's cute.
Yeah, this is a strange movie. I like even the messaging they're trying to do is like they forgot about it until the very fucking end.
They didn't even do that. They were just making themselves rich.
Yeah, they were just lying to the child. You got by their dog's fucking speak. I do, if anything, I'll give this movie credit for the fact they actually did just straight up kill off the main guy.
Yeah.
You don't expect that to happen, especially in a kid's movie.
Well, you know,
so I
all dogs go
appreciate
to
thumbs
heaven,
up.
so...
That's why I got a C- and not a D+ for me. Alrighty, our last movie for this week was in fact my pick, that being the finale to the Guardians of the Galaxy series, the third volume, if you will. Of course, I picked this movie because I'm trying to round out the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. We watched the last one last week. This movie is basically TLDR, Rocket gets fucking shot by some golden guy, and the entire movie they're trying to figure out how to resuscitate him because his heart's locked behind some like cryptology bullshit from the people that created him initially. We go through figuring out more about Rocket's past and also the guy who created them and like the societies he's building, and that guy's the main villain, and they fucking take him out and save the world, and then they also save Rocket, of course, and then they all split up at the end, and there's some relationship drama between Quill and Gamora and some other stuff. But it's mostly a movie that's kind of just about Rocket. It's surprisingly dedicated to Rocket, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I think Rocket's a cool character, but
Well, I'm gonna do my haiku as inspired by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Animal abuse. Big feels and wacky hijinks, a proper send-off. Honestly, when I was walking away from this film, I wasn't very high on it. I was like, I think this one might be the weakest of all of them. And then, you know, the week kept going on, and it's grown on me a lot, honestly. And I think what it is I was just looking at the first and second, and like, I think both of those stand alone pretty well. Even the second one, like, I don't think you really need that much context from the first to enjoy the second. This one is obviously far more dependent on the previous ones, which maybe in my mind I was kind of counting that against it, but I've kind of turned around on that, and I think just kind of taken into account how this is, you know, the third one, and it's like the send-off and whatever, and how well it does that, frankly, it's I think it's probably, maybe not my favorite, but I think it's the best one.
Yeah, the thing, though, because you said this is like the one, or the second one's where you didn't need to see the first one. This movie is reliant, yes, on maybe the last one, or maybe even the first one, but it's also, unfortunately, reliant on a lot of the other stuff that happens in the MCU, because there's
not a lot of the other stuff. It's just, like, Infinity War is, like, the big thing that you need to watch, which, like, you know, I definitely would have preferred it a lot if this film if the fucking trilogy was, like, very standalone, you could, like, just watch them, which for the most part you can. But, like, you know, the fact they fucking kill off Gamora in Infinity War is a pretty massive deal that does have massive ramifications throughout this entire movie. And, you know, that's not really James Gunn's fault. Apparently he had never planned to kill off Gamora. That was just something that they did, and he was like, all right, well, fuck it, I guess. I'll figure something out. And it definitely feels like that conversation that Peter has with, like, the random lady in the elevator while she's being held hostage. Definitely feels like James Gunn screaming at the audience about how, like, some fucking purple man kill off Gamora, okay? Now I just need to figure shit out, all right? Which, like, you know, I think that they handled it pretty well, all things considered, throughout this film.
I didn't think of it that way. That makes a ton of sense in that regard. I remember I went to go see this movie close to when it came out. I agree with Tanner. I think this is the best of the three. It helps that Rocket is one of my favorite Guardian characters, and I like a movie that's dedicated to him. But it goes to show, like, because, like, it's kind of like Nico said, you wish it was, like, just a solid trilogy. Everybody was, like, at each other's throats in, like, the second movie, but to see that kind of, like, turn around and see the camaraderie in this one, where they literally, like, because, you know, in most superhero movies, you don't see them take a lot of shit. Like, they hit a point in the movie where they take a lot of shit, but, like, I just feel like in this one in particular, like, they're just taking, like, L after L. Like, they're consistently taking shit throughout the whole movie, but they're doing the hero thing and overcoming each obstacle throughout the whole thing, which I like that power struggle, where it's like, yes, they hit an obstacle, but it's not at one point and then they just overcome it because of some OP shit. They keep hitting obstacles throughout the movie and overcoming it. But yeah, I like Guardians a lot. I think it's a solid staple in the Marvel Universe. I think, you know, the voice acting and the acting in general is just super solid in this movie. I like the visual effects. I like the character's development after the three movies. You know, I think this, like Tanner said, I think this is a solid cap to sending off Guardians of the Galaxy. I also like how there was, like, Guardians of the Galaxy is, like, just independent group now. It's not just this ragtag group of fighters anymore. So, also...
Yeah, I feel like they gave every character, like, a really satisfying ending in this film as well. Like, even, you know, the fucking Gamora, who, like, her only development is in this movie. You do see, like, at the very end, like, you know, by the way, I'm very happy that she didn't end up with fucking Star-Lord at the end of this. I would have fucking hated that. But, like, you know, just seeing, like, oh, she finally found the family that she's been looking for. I think that was just really sweet.
Yeah, and, you know, this is what I was gonna say. It's a little strange, or maybe something I don't understand. It's weird how, like, one of, like, the orphan kids they ended up rescuing had, like, Captain Marvel powers? I don't know if I saw that wrong in, like, the final scene.
Yeah, we don't know what was up with that either.
She does something.
She does something. Yeah, it's a little strange, because knowing how Captain Marvel works. Anyway, unimportant side note.
I was just because I think it's a great movie. I think it's you know, touching and funny. I don't think it's as touching as 2. I don't think it's as funny as either of the other 2, but I also don't know if it really is supposed to be. You know, it's focusing on a lot of other things. I think it was a tad too long. I think they could have trimmed it up a little bit. And I really liked the villain. I think we have a great villain in this one. Probably, yeah, I'd say the best villain of all 3 of the...
Yeah, I really love when a villain can just be, like, really fucking evil.
Like nuking an entire planet.
Yeah, like, this guy's just fucking insane.
Yeah, like, nothing else matters except perfection, and I will not stop until it gets to my standards.
Yeah, and this movie is also, like, so much darker than the other ones as well. Like, that definitely seemed like something where Disney was like, okay, we're really sorry, James Gunn. We didn't mean to, like, you know, fire you for, like, those bullshit-ass tweets that you used to make. But, like, you know, can you please come back and finish the third Guardians? And he's like, okay, but I have some demands.
Yeah, it is really dark when you take a step back and realize, oh shit, yeah, they really just exploded an entire planet with innocent people who didn't know anything about anything.
I mean, not even that. Just the entire
Yeah.
tone of this movie is like so much darker than the other ones is. Like throughout this movie, like dramatic moments are allowed to like actually play out without being undercut by jokes, like in a lot of MCU movies, which I really appreciate. And just like fucking at the end of the movie, when we see like the dude's face after Rocket just like completely destroyed it, like I was not expecting that whatsoever. I thought it was just gonna be like, you know, some scars or something like that on him, but no, he just completely tore it off.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not forget they dropped an F-bomb.
That's true, they did.
And I really, really liked Rocket's ending line there, where it was like, you didn't want to make things perfect, you just hated things how you are. I think that hit pretty fucking hard, and I really liked it. And I think really kind of encapsulated what the Guardians of the Galaxy is about, where it is, you know, these misfits and weirdos coming together to form a family, you know? Very poetic, you know?
Yeah. Now, Jackson, tell us why you fucking hate this movie.
Yeah, so I haven't said anything, and that's because I can't really relate to anything you guys are saying. I don't know why, but I just could not get into this movie at all. I think from the very start, I was like, the framing is super fucking weird. It feels like I'm watching some AI-generated shit from the start, and that never really changed. Basically, the entire movie, I was thinking that. It's like, I don't know what they're doing. It's they have, like, random, like, tons of quick cuts that, like, randomly do, like, close-ups. It's just, I don't really know how to describe it. It was just, like, it was a feeling about the way they did framing and cinematography. It just felt very off to me, and it kind of took me out of a lot of the movie. I've got another laundry list of complaints here. Another thing is this movie is absolutely the most CG reliant on any of the Guardians movies. Obviously, it's a fucking high budget Marvel movie, but like this movie is like balls to the walls with it. I don't think a lot of it really looks that great. Like a lot of the stuff in the like the organic facility thing looked pretty fucking goofy. So I guess some things with just like the franchise as a whole, they really paint Rocket as like some fucking super intelligent creature here, but I really don't feel like we see it that much with him as a character in any of the other movies.
What do you mean? Like in the first one, he like orchestrates the entire escape of like the prison. In the second one, he like sets up a bunch of traps and shit like that so that he can like get the drop on like Yondu's men and all that shit. Like, you know,
that just makes me think he's more like crafty than like hyper intelligent in this way, though, because they make him seem he's more not like a practical intelligent, but more like he's like an engineering standpoint. Maybe I don't really know about like that discrepancy. I don't know. It just didn't feel like the connection was there, at least for me.
I think this movie, because this movie is about Rocket, I think they decided to deep dive into Rocket's backstory here. I don't think the idea was supposed to be we were supposed to know he's a hyper intelligent. It was alluded to in the second movie where he was like, I was genetically modified to fly ships, which technically isn't true. But it was a little bit of a hint, so they really dove into it and then kind of were like, this is why Rocket's so good at escaping and building shit randomly out of, like, seemingly nothing. So...
Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna sound like a dick for saying this as well, but honestly, I don't really give a shit about his backstory at all. Just from the hints we got from the last two movies, I could have basically pieced together what it is. I don't really need the details of it, and honestly, they gave us a lot of the details. It's very sad. He had the friends that were in the cage with him that died very predictably for me. None of the emotional scenes worked at all for me, I'm gonna be completely honest. Most of the time I was just like, this is just kind of manipulative. Like, they set up all these things in like a super... I sound like a fucking Scrooge here, I know, but I don't know why I didn't get into this movie. This seems like it would have been up my alley. It's like just more fun Guardian shit, and with some like emotional stuff mixed in, which I'm a big fan of, but I don't know, I just didn't connect with me at all. Also, as you guys kind of alluded to earlier on, I'm not a huge fan of this movie's reliance on previous things in the series. There's not much they can do with like the Gamora shit, obviously, but I kind of figured out most of it after like the 25% of the way through point. But yeah, no, some stuff about like the fucking Christmas special, some like random shit. Like if you didn't hear anything about that as a casual viewer, you'd be sitting here like, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck is Mantis the brother of Quill? What the fuck's going on?
The
with
brother.
That? Who's this?
The brother.
Who's this fucking dog? Why are they a character now? Where'd this fucking thing come from?
The dog's from the first movie.
Where?
He's in the collector's like glass.
Oh
cage
yeah,
thing.
no, I remember Nico saying that to me before. I never would have fucking remembered that. That shit was like a decade ago. Anyways, and there weren't even like a thing. They're just like a dog in a fucking container for like 3 seconds. There's no way you would have remembered that. Anyways, the big thing is that they're in the Christmas special, and that's what actually like got them there in the end. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the reliance on the other things. Mostly just because I like, again, like you guys said, I like the idea of this being a more self-contained story. And because of Infinity War and Endgame being kind of tossed into the middle of it, kind of throws it asunder, and like you can't really watch it as its own thing, which I kind of liked it as previously. I liked it being a little more segregated from the rest of the MCU stuff, but now it's kind of forced to be a part of it, which I'm not a huge thing of. One positive though, I like the funny golden guy. He was silly. I liked him being a part of it. He was a funny guy. I think it's interesting that he joins them in the end, figuring I don't really know. I guess he just wasn't a fan of how stuck up his race of people is or something. Also, it's apparently he's supposed to be some like other Marvel character, but they just like totally like retconned him into being what he currently is. I was reading some like review about it, and there's apparently some other completely unrelated Marvel character who they basically just made him.
He's Adam Warlock, dude.
Yeah, and Adam Warlock has nothing to do with anything of this fucking character in the movie.
I mean, that is his name in his title, so.
That's also like a pretty normal MCU thing to do, though. Like even like a lot of like the stories lines and shit like that, like Infinity War and stuff like that. It's like they're just kind of taking the base idea of what's happening here and just completely changing it for their own thing.
Yeah. Power levels of characters are another thing. I guess Mantis is just like a fucking badass now, and she was doing all sorts of like crazy ninja bullshit in the fucking science lab. They feel like they should have been like swept pretty easily by like a massive amount of troops, and it made them seem like they were a lot bigger of a threat than they actually were. And then they kind of like low diffed it. And that's also a big thing with like the final boss guy. The fucking main characters didn't even really do that much to stop him. He kind of just fucked off on his big planet and then got like his like whole fucking thing got like taken over basically, and then he blew him up, and then they just did some like low diff fight against him with them, and it really wasn't that much of a spectacle, honestly. It was kind of disappointing with how they handled the villain. I think he's cool from the standpoint of like he's just some guy that's just trying to make all these races and stuff, and they make him seem like he's way more powerful than he is, and then he just gets fucking curbs on pretty easily, which is why it didn't land for me. Like I think he's cool, and they didn't handle him very well at the end.
I do have some justifications for that boss fight. I'll make it quick, I promise. Rocket has gravity boots. It negates his gravity powers. I'm pretty sure Rocket shoots him in the chest piece or whatever that allows him to control said gravity. Therefore, it renders him useless because he's just a normal-ass guy.
Still, again, he's like some super ultra powerful guy, and you'd expect more of a boss fight thing at the end, but we didn't really get that. It was pretty short, and it was pretty easy, is my complaint. Even if they do it in like a really smart way, you know, they outsmart him. Rock uses ingenuity to do it. I don't know, it's still pretty anticlimactic for me. Yeah, like Tanner said as well, it's just really fucking long. It was definitely did not need to be this long. There's a lot of like comedy things just to like be funny stuff, like the scene with like the weird people in the town, or like fucking, you know, stuff like that. A lot of like just random decisions. I don't know. This movie just did not sit well with me. I'm going to be completely honest. I probably would like it a lot more looking at it again. Maybe I was in a weird mood because we watched this right after All Dogs and Go to Heaven. I'm also going to stop fucking yapping at this point. I've been yapping for ages now.
Dude, Jackson, I think you need to stop getting into Tanner's stuff and drinking his haterade, all right? Like, just chill, man.
Oh, yeah, we're swapping places this time.
Last final thought, just a quick thing for me with this movie. I like how there was, I mean, I don't like, but, they put in that love that never was scene at the very end with Rocket and Lila. I thought that shit was super touching, and it, I don't know, I thought it was an interesting touch, just to see that characters that could have been, but weren't, and that's where they decided to end it. That's just...
I don't like the Walrus's eyes very much, so Jackson, what are you gonna be ranking this movie, man?
Yeah, so, okay, just to preface here, it's not as low as you guys are thinking, but also I'm definitely going to watch this movie again at some point and most likely rate it a decent chunk higher for the next re-ranking, whenever the fuck that happens, in a few months, I think. But yeah, again, it's not that low. I gave it a B-. Still pretty low for what it is, but you guys are probably thinking I was going to give it like a C or D or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I think that this movie is really good. I'm going to give it an A tier. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I like Groot.
I'm giving this one an S-.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to re-rank some of the other Guardian movies. I think this one's the best out of all of them. I think this is a solid S.
Yeah, personally, I think this is the weakest by far, but, like, that's just me. Anyways, that puts it at...
It is just you, actually.
It is just me. Yeah, that puts it at an A overall.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Meaning it was just slightly better than All My Friends Hate Me.
All right, and with that in the bag, we're moving on to next week's movies. Nico, what's your pick for this next week?
Yeah, so as Dylan talked about at the very beginning of this episode, which was like fucking 4 hours ago or some shit like that, you know, unfortunately, Akira Toriyama recently passed away, and because of that, like, you know, the man had a massive role to play in my childhood with, like, you know, Dragon Ball and shit like that. Fucking loved it. So I figured, why not commemorate the man by us watching a Dragon Ball movie this week? We are going to be checking out Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Ooh.
As for me, we are now officially in March, which means my theme this month is Marchville. I'm going to be choosing Marvel movies for March. And today, I want to start us off with one of my personal favorites.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Fuck, you made me forget it. We're watching Planet Hulk.
Whoa.
With those two out of the way, Jackson, go ahead and roll that Patreon pick, man.
Is it gonna crash? No, it didn't crash. Let's go. We're watching the 1979 film Rocky 2 as requested by Mr. T. Thank you, Mr. T, for requesting that movie on Patreon.
Oh, man.
Dude, that's the good one, allegedly. And if you would also like to have your name right on the Patreon, then Tanner's going to tell you all about how you can do that.
That's right. If you folks go on down to patreon.com/Guapish and subscribe for only $1 a month, you get access to our You also get early access to every single episode. You get access to the Discord channel where you can request movies just like Mr. T did. You can also request topics for us to talk about, and you get 500 slime coins, and finally, you get your name read out at the end of every episode.
Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon. Nedigant, Raheem Majawani, Kyler Nikolai, Oh My Goinky Splinky, Top Ramen Man, Joshua Bean, Dylan, I've kidnapped your family. If you ever want to see them alive again, you need to rank No Country for Old Men higher. Tutbot, Luke Lidet, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards.
And of course, as always, we will be seeing you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.